A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be joining us from. An unusual early start to us here in Gridiron Queensland, although not too early for playoffs in past. I'm coming to you again from Deception Bay Sports Centre here in the northern Moreton Bay region of southeast Queensland for playoff football, baby. Here we go. In the junior division, to start us off, we have 4 teams today vying to compete for the last remaining spots in their respective Sun Bowls. Right now, the Gold Coast Stingrays are enjoying watching this from home, seeing who their combatants will be joining them next week on the 11th of December at East Rugby Union, the new appointed home for Sun Bowl 2021. Our contestants for that last spot in the junior division are the Logan City Bears and the firm favourites, the Sunshine Coast Moreton Bay Raptors Spartans. I will have variations of that name throughout the call, like I have all season between both clubs, because of course this club is being represented by both the Moreton Bay Raptors, where the home of which we are at today, and the Sunshine Coast Spartans, and their opponent, the Logan City Bears, looking to achieve their first Sun Bowl berth since 2009, where they actually went in under the formerly known Browns Plains Bears, the name of which the club has been under for most of their time in Gridiron Queensland. But yes, Logan City, not since 2009 have they seen a genuine chance at the trophy. They lost to the then Eastside Ravens in 2009, and captained by one quarterback named Pudding. More stories about that later. Of course, the quarterback today, Patrick Nee, looking to add himself to that list of Logan City quarterbacks who've competed in the Sun Bowl. But right now, I believe Sunshine Coast won the toss. Browns Plains won the... Let's try that again. Logan City won the toss, opted to defer. Sunshine Coast Moreton Bay returning the ball right to left in your screen, donned in orange and grey. And this is Kai Pierre-Mahmoud, who loses the ball on the kick return. Fortunately for him, the man who forced it, Zach Corville, who's only 15 years old, couldn't quite get on it. It will be recovered by Kai Pierre-Mahmoud. He will be a featured name throughout today's call, I'm sure. Saw him play against the Brisbane Rhinos back in week 6, lit it up downfield once they got going. In the meantime, let's see how the quarterback Huber here for Sunshine Coast Moreton Bay can run this offense without key running back Giovanni Stawazelamani, who's been missing for the last 2 weeks with a shoulder injury. We'll replace him by committee. One of 3 backs to do that in there now. A nice little jump cut up the middle to start the day here, but Logan City defense on par, stopping for maybe only a yard gain there. A couple of different running backs on the board here for the Spartan Raptors. One of them will be Jonathan Hyton, jersey number 9, and I believe a few others will be gymming in. Eden Neal, another one of those, will primarily plays wide receiver, but will take some snaps in the backfield. Second down now. A bit more of a generous spot than I was prepared to give it credit for. About a 3-yard gain on first down. A pitch out to the right now to Neal. Great lead block in front of him. Here goes Neal, shot out of a cannon, and a big first down run taken out of bounds just shy of the Logan City 30-yard line. They'll mark him out at the Logan City at 32. Taking a look at that again. Putting the man in motion, allowing him to stay at his wide receiver spot and trying to get him involved in the running game with a bit of creativity. And if they can continue to achieve little plays like that, they'll be able to utilize his speed all day long if Logan City won't accommodate for it. First down and 10. Kenny Andres coming alive from Deception Bay Sports Centre. First down and 10. Spartan Raptors, Raptans, however you want to call it, they're on the march. And taking a carry now, this is the 13 in Kazoya Newick Matthews. Again, one of the 3 backs who will be replacing the production of Gio Stowers Elamani. He picks up close to a first down. They'll be about a yard short. And we talked about Logan City and their endeavours to return. If the Spartan Raptors can get it done, it'll be the first time, I believe, since, by my count, 2015. I'll have to get that double check, since the Spartans have been in the Junior Sun Bowl. That was one of the most epic Junior Sun Bowls I can recall seeing. I might actually get that confirmed with me now with my colour commentator coming through as soon as he gets ready. Second down and short. Nice pass completed over the middle there. Grabbing that one is jersey 21, and we'll have to get an update on that. And as we look at the replay here, I'll use this opportunity to bring in my colour commentator today, head coach of the Gold Coast and already Sun Bowl qualified Gold Coast Stingrays here, and Connor Brewster. How was the trip up the M1, mate?
Not too bad, 80 Ks for a third of the trip, but we're here now and we're watching some football, so that's all that matters.
Big effort from you. I know the coastal trip isn't always a fun one between the two coasts, but here we are.
Definitely.
Score 0-0. Spartan Raptors with the first possession of the game, almost losing the ball on the kick-off. But here they are with Huber at quarterback, completed 2 passes already. And this time it'll be a keeper, but losing his footing immediately is Huber. Actually managed to fall forward to minimize the loss of yardage there. Probably kept it within half a yard loss. Let's see how much they mark him off by, and my guesstimation's more or less correct here. Second and a long 11.
Yeah, no, I definitely think he lost out on a good chunky yardage there. The offensive line looked like they did a pretty good job to open up a hole, but the footing, obviously we've had a lot of rain, so perhaps the weather coming into effect there.
Yeah, that's actually something I haven't covered yet. The weather here so far, obviously the big talk of Southeast Queensland. The reason it's been moved today has been the constant weather throughout Southeast Queensland. I'll continue those thoughts following this play. We have 2 receivers out to the open side of the field here, and our first flag of the game. Looks like we've got a false start against the Raptors. Kai Pierre Mahmood, my guess to be pinged. That'll move him back 5, but yes, the weather. Don't know how things look down at Gold Coast way, Connor, but it was pretty intensive here for the inner parts of Brisbane, but up here north in Deception Bay, no rain for the last 48 hours allowed the field to really drain out.
Yeah, we've had a pretty similar situation down on the coast. The forecast proved to be wrong in a good way the last few days, so we should hopefully be good for training this week. That's my main concern, of course. But yeah, I had a bit of a look at the field yesterday afternoon down on the coast, and we are looking alright, but yeah. Looks like here seems pretty decent overall. Looking at the whole field now, a couple patches seem to be a bit darker, but we should be okay.
So the 2nd and 16, a little bit of a stall now in this otherwise successful drive. This is the 13 and Newick Matthews. Newick Matthews trying to hurdle his way to a touchdown. He will be just short of a first down, picking up 15 yards on an athletic carry.
That was a great play, making something out of nothing there. Looked like the offensive line got beat on the interior, but the running back able to make a move, bounce the run outside. Good blocking second level as well from the receivers. It looks like he may have been able to keep that to the outside, actually, and maybe work with his blocker a little bit more.
Resist the hurdle.
Had to go for the big play. It's always got to be pretty, Kenny. It's always got to be pretty.
I said 15. They're probably closer to a 14-yard run. We've got a long 2 yards ahead of them here for this third down conversion. Against the Rhinos in week 6, this is a spot where they did struggle in the red zone. Let's see if those Warriors have improved since I last saw them. Almost a false start there. It's another Newick Matthews carry. They'll be short here on third down here. Safe to say they will go for it here. I don't believe there's an established kicker on this Spartan Raptors unit.
Looks like
Cuba is getting the call, and they will go for it in 4th.
Looks like a good blitz there by the outside linebacker to get through. Offensive line looks like they might be getting overpowered a little bit in the situation so far. The Bears' defensive tackle box has been their strength all year. Game prepping for them, I can tell you that straight away. So it looks like they are putting their work in, holding up their end of the deal right now.
A couple of guys on there. See Elijah Lyer on the left outside there, and Kenneth Stevens, who I haven't even touched on yet. He'll be a focus of this defense. Here he is showing blitz already. 4th down and short.
Pressure coming.
Can Logan City keep him out? Pass is caught. It might be good enough for a first. Logan is celebrating, and I think
think the far side signal is... Oh, we've got
first down,
two signals
Logan.
here.
Yeah, well, let's wait for the official. It
looks like we have changed the signal in the middle.
First down, Logan there. So after getting chunks of yardage taken from them to start the drive, they tighten up in the red zone, and a big goal line stand here from, well, today's visitors.
I think that was a really, really good blitz there. Looks like the tackle ended up taking the inside man, left the edge defender unblocked. The ball came out early, but a good rally tackle on the outside there from the cornerback.
So no points
turnover on downs
on their first drive.
Looks like we've got two quite healthy rosters looking at it today as well. I know that the Rhinos in this division have struggled with injuries this year, but both the Bears, Raptor Spartans and the Rays have all been pretty good overall health-wise. So good to see.
Well, first down and 10. Logan City is decent. However, this pass is a completed
Great
pass,
tackle.
but for minimum gain there, that Paddy Mee on his first attempt completes a quick out route there to young Zachary Perrin, younger brother of Ravens defensive back Josh Perrin, who was actually the defensive coordinator here of this Logan City Bears unit. One of the rare situations due to no Ravens junior team, you can have a player from an opposing club contribute.
Looked like a pretty interesting defensive look there from the defensive front from the Raptors, looking like a bit of confusion again. Looks like we've got a few guys standing up here rather than being in the traditional 3-point.
Showing blitz to Raptans. They send 5. Going for a carry there, I think.
Good tackle again.
Tight end around, might have been Jarrett Powell, I think it was, indeed.
I think that was almost a bit of an end around there by the looks of it.
Which is not unusual. I just started this broadcast talking about the 2009 Browns Plains Bears team, the last team of the Logan City contingent to make the Sun Bowl, and they actually featured that a lot through their tight end at the time, Samuel Johansson.
Yeah. Very, very run-heavy team here, the Bears.
Although things might have changed here, since obviously they've had some coaching changes throughout the season. Now it is John Hellaby at both head coach and play caller, and along with Jaden Harley.
Yeah, I'm quite interested to see actually, you know, in my preparation, looking at it, seeing what their kind of traditional, I guess you could say, spread offense and wishbone wing T offense split is going to be. When we played them earlier this year, we did see a pretty like 60-40, 50-50 kind of split between the two, so it's very interesting to see what they bring here and what they've kind of prepared.
Well, obviously that wishbone D is a specialist of now former head coach Leonard Powell of the team there, but since taken over by John Hellaby, definitely moved to a bit more of a spread look, looking to utilise a lot more of these wide receivers, and I think also maybe assist, dare I say it, their undersized offensive line.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very fair call there.
On 3rd and long there, they try to get some of that yardage back. I think they'll have to send the punting unit out. They pick up about 4 yards on that draw play, but well and truly short of the line to gain. The Raptans will earn themselves the ball back in good field position here, pending this punt.
Yeah, I think that was quite a fair decision there from the Bears. Just keep the ball on the ground, try and get your punter a little bit more room, and just live to fight another day. Their defense seemed to stand quite well.
Pivot Mojo on a lot of respect for Bears punter here, Callum Urquhart. He's backed up all the way in his own 40-yard line. And this punt is high, not a whole lot of distance. Caught by the up back. I thought they might have just left it, but who's this taking a carry and trying to take advantage of his one opportunity there, and Hunter Harris won. I think most coaches are just telling poison and
I think it's
players to get away there. He saw his moment and wanted the season.
Yeah, that's a coach killer right there. I think might have had a few hearts stop on the sideline there with the Bears players around, but at the end of the day, it's worked out pretty all right.
Well, at the end of the day, you can't argue too much with the extra 7 yards or whatnot.
Exactly.
Harris won, so a good play by the young man regardless. First down and 10, right at the fringe of the Logan City red zone. Cuba now hasn't had a deep shot down at field yet. Let's see if they try to get things moving very quickly.
Safety playing down a little bit.
False start suggested by Logan City here, and that will be the call indeed. Another 5 yards, so that's a couple of false starts now in this opening quarter of football. 2 drives, well, sorry, should I say Spartan Raptors onto their second drive now. A drive apiece. turnover and downs in the red zone for the Raptors, their last possession. And this is to Newick Matthews, bounces outside quickly, gets the edge. Look at him go now to open field. A couple of key blocks bringing him there. First down inside the 10 of the Spartan Raptors.
Going back to the replay here, the edge was sealed very well from the very, very tight split of the slot receiver to the top of the screen there. Very, very good sealing block, almost a crack block. At the start of the play, really gave the opportunity to bounce that run outside, so that's something to look out for in the future to see if they are going to narrow these splits and really try and work that outside run game with these counters or cutbacks.
Couldn't quite make out the number. It was in fact Hayden Cinnamon. Impressed me last time I watched him play there. A really good block there. I love it when tall receivers understand how to use those long levers.
Oh, exactly.
in the run game. First down and goal. Ball at the 7-yard line.
Here in the pistol last time, going for a pass.
Over the middle they go. Pass intended for the mystery man in jersey 21. Incomplete.
It looks like they've had a little bit of a split here so far between their pistol and gun alignments. I was expecting a run there personally, looking at their last drive in the red zone. Once again, looking to the bottom of the screen, that edge defender coming unblocked, so some changes might need to be made here up front with the protection calls. A few defenders coming free on both sides of the ball, giving some quarterbacks some worries. Could have definitely rushed that throw. Looks like we've got these narrow splits at the top of the screen again, potentially another run.
Second down and goal. The score is 0-0. Spartan Raptors trying to get first blood here in this 2021 playoff game. Newick Matthews gives him an inside-outside look. Can he get over? Yes, he can. The Spartan Raptors are first on the board here in this 2021 playoff.
We'll have to go to the replay here, but it looks like number 33, bottom of the screen there again, that edge defender coming free was pleading for a holding call, throwing his hands up in the air. I believe we may have had another crackdown block here to seal the edge. But yeah, just getting outside here, making a couple people miss. Strong run, keep the legs moving. Again, good blocking off the edge, good blocking downfield, just powering over the line.
Newick Matthews obviously doesn't have what we'll call a traditional running back style, but effective nevertheless.
But again, coming from Australia rugby pass here.
2-point conversion. And they tried a bit of a sprint out pass, incomplete. He had to throw off his back foot. And that will leave the score 6-0. And let's take a look at that touchdown one more time, Coach.
Yeah, it looks like just really good second level blocks here from the interior. Looks like bit of interior penetration, getting that ball outside, once again making the first man miss, and then just getting that second level block, getting pushed over the line in the end. Again, downfield blocking, outside blocking, really important in a game like this where the Raptors Spartans offense really does like getting that ball outside rather than not playing more to the interior of the field. They like getting the edge, getting the ball to their athletes in space, really sticking to, as much as we have moved to 11-man this year, sticking to that kind of 9-man game style of just getting athletes into space, just letting guys make plays, as we saw there, making 1-2 guys miss, churning the legs, making a big play out of nothing, you know, just really letting athletes be athletes, letting rugby players be rugby players in a sense as well. Putting it into more Australian terms.
Well, I was going to say, Newick Matthews has played receiver most of this year, I believe, so you can definitely say he looks like he runs like a receiver.
Yes, definitely. It looks like he's not putting his pads down by any means, not trying to run anyone over, but again, just keeping those legs moving. Sometimes that's all you need if we're going to have people trying to tackle high from this Logan defense. Then looks like it could be quite a long day.
I say receiver is actually listed as running back and cornerback, so I think he's been playing DB a fair bit, but he was listed as one of their athletes, as noted by Coach Jared Garrity in my initial talks with him. So athleticism has definitely been on display here, and I've also been corrected here. Thought it might have been all the way back to 2015, the last time the Spartans, one of these two Spartans Raptors teams, featured in a junior Sun Bowl. It was actually 2017, more recently than I thought, called the Shanks game, where he started a quarterback. I still remember him in that 7 jersey.
First year of the juniors division, that would have been, yes. I was still playing at that point, so I can't give you much of a comment on short kick here.
And this will be fielded by the upback, Jordan Hitchens, trying to make something happen. Fielding that nevertheless. Solid field position here for Logan City. Tackle on that last play by Jude Scott.
Yeah.
Good slips catch.
I'd say again, good contact there from number 52. Very, very hard tackler inside. Jude Scott, someone that is definitely going to have to be prepped for in any game. Probably my standout personally preparing against this team. I think he's probably the best player on that defense, and he really, really makes a physical statement on the field every time he's there.
Really personifies the prototypical sideline to sideline linebacker position.
Most definitely. He's fast, he's aggressive, he's not scared to come downhill, and a real nuisance in the run game.
First down and 10, Logan City now, trailing 6 points. Going in motion for Patrick Mears, young Sligo, and now throwing their receiver out to the outside. Terrell Butcher cuts it back. Now he's got a whole lot of space to work with, taking advantage of a little bit of real estate there. Terrell Butcher has been named as their outside running threat, proving his worth there.
So you're looking at this, we've got the motion, the run going the other way, but again we've got some high tackles, no one going down for the legs, everyone going for the big hit, and just bouncing off there, getting outside, the contain man on the backside had bitten in, and all of a sudden we've got a 12-yard run out of absolutely nothing.
Wasn't enough to get a first down though. I'm not surprised here. 1 yard.
9-yard run, my apologies.
See if they take a shot here. Patrick Mee will dump this off. And
that's
a backward pass. He has to get on it. That he does. Zach Corville there. Good awareness from the young player. And he is definitely more of their, particularly back when they were running the wishbone offense there, he was definitely that sort of fullback position up the middle there, and they'd use Butcher on the outside. This time trying to get him a little more involved in the passing game. I went to Bears practice this week, and I did see them try to use him in a multitude of ways there, and sort of expand his role in this offense. That time the pass not quite hitting the action. Of course, I haven't really talked about rookie quarterback, rookie player here in young Patrick Mee, who's a young man from China. Down and we got about 8 yards there. A bit of miscommunication.
Looks like a bit of a dummy there almost, but it's gotten downhill.
Horrible again.
Good push there from the offensive line. Just scrumming up there. Prime example, offensive line there from the Bears, getting behind the runner, really pushing it. That's not a first down if the Bears offensive line don't get in there and help. So as much as they may be a bit undersized for the matchup, they're still doing their job and doing their part there. So I think that's a lot of credit to the Bears offensive line and some good coaching there to really push the pile.
Yeah, Coach Ellaby, was very accommodating and providing players to have a chat there, and particularly his offensive line. And every time he sent one over, I thought I was speaking to a new wide receiver, and I say that with great respect because it means these guys, not your traditional offensive line builds, but have produced such an effective run game nevertheless. Here we go, completion over the middle. Mee to Sligo. Sligo, for those who might remember, last year had a very nice Sun Bowl. He's still carrying a lot of the weight of that Sun Bowl loss on his shoulders there. He said he came back this year and wanted to just crispen everything, make everything a lot more crisp. He really understood a little better this year, sort of breaking in and out of his cuts and the sort of refining of his route running. And that's another display of it right there.
Quite well schemed open there as well. A lot of man coverage in this league. Good crossing route over the middle, over the linebackers.
Two backs. That's another give here to Corville. Corville, not a whole lot of space there. He'll be taken down there by the man they call Soup. Sione Salupe Fafita.
Yeah, looking there, run inside. So as much as this Bears offensive line, as we'll say, against maybe slightly undersized, they're moving the ball laterally, more of zone blocking. If we're going back to the what would that be? Early 90s Denver Broncos, perhaps. If you're looking at that, when everyone's packing on those 300 plus pound linemen, they're getting the 260, 280s and moving the ball more laterally. So if the Bears are going to move the ball on the ground inside, it's going to be on the basis of a lot of cutback lanes. If these linebackers aren't going to shoot downhill like they didn't on that play, these 3, 4, 5 yard gains out of cutback lanes could be there.
That's the end of one here. Your score 6-0 in favour of today's home side, the Spartan Raptors, thanks to a number 13 Kazuya Newick Matthews touchdown in the first. That's the only thing separating these two teams, right? now, but Logan City are in possession. Kenny Andres, Connor Brewster, joining you in company here as we broadcast to you the 2021 Gridiron Queensland playoffs here on the LSB Australia network.
Yeah, the weather has really shown out today for us. It's great to see. It's great to see that we're not getting a bit wet ourselves.
All in all, as
It's
well,
just fantastic.
for us, for myself and the callers here last week, no wind, or at least minimal wind compared to the gale that was blowing 7 days ago. Second down and 5 here, Logan City. Ball. on
Two back
the,
set again.
Morton Bay, Sunshine Coast 22. Patrick Mee with a
He's
drop back,
loading up.
climbs the pocket, he's going to take off with it. And we'll race to the sideline there. We'll pick up a couple. The pressure getting to me there, but does a good job turning it into some sort of productivity. And now makes it a 3rd and 3.
Looks like the Bears were loading up for something deep there and stepping up into the pocket. Pretty good protection that time as well. Just seeing nothing downfield and scrambling. Got a few yards out of it in the end, so no harm, no foul, but probably not the result they were looking for with the play call.
Just to continue with the weather, I was at Logan practice, as I said, and this game was supposed to be at Logan City there, but they couldn't due to their fields. Thought it might have been a bit of a hyperbole. They told me to bring my gum boots. Definitely needed them.
Oh, I'm
The
sure.
grass
I'm
was
sure.
high, the puddles were deep. It was an absolutely necessary call here to make the change here to Deception Bay.
Beat to the edge. Good first down.
Oh, a
Still
nice
churning his
run,
legs.
still going, aiming for the end
That's a
zone now,
touchdown.
and getting there. That is Tyrell Butcher scoring here and leveling the scores here for Logan City, a chance to take the lead.
Looks like we just had contain lost on the edge there. The lead blocker actually seeing the contain was lost and going second level. Getting a block on the middle linebacker, just cutting back inside, breaking a few tackles, and again just powering over the line in the end. What a great run, Logan City Bears.
And dare I say, Butcher, Newick Matthews, and we got a timeout here from Logan City. You want to have a chat about their 2-point conversion play? And
Very interesting here to call a timeout. Very valuable in these kind of games. Very interesting to call it here.
I think what's also going to be value though is the chance to go ahead here. So they want to make sure
very
they
true.
get the play correct. How many junior games have we seen decided by a 2-point conversion?
That is a very
for
fair call. Very fair call.
But dare I say, let's compare here. The touchdown or even the running styles between Butcher and Newick Matthews awfully similar.
Yes, most definitely. You're looking at two, and for lack of a better word, more lanky runners here, but they are running with power. As much as they might not be lowering their shoulders, they are moving their legs. They're looking for space. They're fighting. They both clearly very much care about the result, as I'm sure all the players do, and they're really putting everything that they've got into it. Again, if we're stopping churning our legs in that situation, we're getting stopped for a 10-yard gain maybe, but no, we're pushing through for the touchdown. It's really great to see the effort by everyone out there so far. It's a hot day. It'll be interesting to see how that affects the rosters moving into the second half, but right now it is looking like some very good football. Empty backfield.
Here we go, Patrick Mee. No one in the backfield, throws over the middle, pass incomplete. Our scores stay level. 6 apiece here at the top of the second. Connor Brewster, obviously this game, as we take a look at that touchdown on replay again, this game a lot earlier than as we look at the time we're starting today. Most games, and we look back at the roster, most games have been closer to noon, maybe even a little later for some of these folks. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. 9 o'clock start, because here at Deception Bay they've got an event running from 4 o'clock. So
we're very lucky to have the game at all.
yeah,
Yes.
So they've had to move our schedule earlier. A 9 o'clock start here. For some of the folk, obviously, I'm sure you're very grateful that your team wasn't playing today.
Yeah.
For the trip up the M1, but for a lot of players, even at Logan, maybe not coming from the Gold Coast, but still the southern regions of Brisbane, that's a 6 o'clock road trip.
It is.
Right
it is.
there. How much of a concern is it for these players just to be waking up and being in game mentality?
I think that all comes down to preparation. If they did put the work in last night, I'm sure there were many team discussions as far as the commitment level, making sure everyone got an early night last night to make sure everyone was in the best situation possible. But yeah, it's definitely a factor.
Does it favour, though, home side, the Sunshine Coast Spartan Raptors, who
I think we definitely have
rolled out of bed?
They definitely have a home field advantage there.
Pima mode.
All block in the back there
Peter Mode
potentially.
gets a jump. Flags are late down, but not near the area where we thought. But then flags come in
I
from the
think
white hat referee there, Brian Balsamo, back at the Spartan Raptors 22.
we're looking at a potential block in the back there by the Raptor Spartans. I'm missing the number by the looks of it, number 42, I believe.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
In the backfield there. So that will be going back a few yards from that spot there. So what could have been very, very good field position is looking back to probably be around the 20-yard line, maybe even a bit further back, depending on where they mark these fouls from. Oh, it looks like we have offsetting penalties, actually. Block in the back and potentially illegal use of hands. Holding as well. Sadly, we do not have the mic'd up call.
Block in the back, as you said, offsetting penalties here from my third caller. Means that effectively renders both moot. So
It'd be interesting to see where this spot actually is. I think there was four penalties potentially called on that kick return. Never like to see that.
And it seemed like a pretty, placid play compared to some of the plays I've seen.
It really did.
Thrown on.
It really did.
Usually when you see that many flags, you see one player ending up one spot, another player a scuffle going on.
Normally you'd expect to see a helmet or two on the ground potentially with that many flags, but looks like the Bears defense coming out one high again.
First down and 10, Spartan Raptors. The give is there to Newick Matthews. Look at him juking his way. Was more or less untouched for the first 8 yards, large in part to his agility. This might even be a first down carry. That it is. First down, Spartan Raptors.
Looks like we had another tight split crack block down from the bottom of the screen. Looked like the edge defender again on the ground, cutting back across the field. First down, very, very similar look to what we had on the touchdown actually, as far as a play calling standpoint. Looks like they're liking these crackdown blocks so far from the Raptor Spartans.
First down and 10. Scores are level, 6-all. Second quarter. Spartan Raptors from their own 29. Pierre Mode! Can't Circus catch it. They had him there. A pass maybe just a quarter of a second a little too late there. Pierre Mode had a spot between the corner and the safety.
Looks like we had quite a nice switch concept there actually. The safety getting across, making the play, because if the safety did not get there from center field, I imagine that would have been a touchdown, as you said, probably just a fraction of a second late. Maybe the eyes flashed a little bit early, giving the safety a read.
Yeah, the nicer reactions there from one of their more experienced players, Heath Gordon, one of a few players here, a proud Logan product being developed from their Cubs program over the years. Second down and 10. Piva Mode in motion.
Orbit motion here.
He'll get this ball. Logan City are awake to it though.
Way to keep
but
his
what
feet.
A break the tackle. What a broken tackle, shall I say, from Piva Mode patiently now.
Finish the run as
moving back to the right hand side of the field. Picks up 5 by the end of it.
That was incredible balance there to save probably a 7 or an 8 yard loss. Again, the contain being there, but the runner being able to keep his feet. Looks like he's having a bit of a breather. He's a bit tired from that one, but what a great cutback to keep his feet, keep his balance. Once again, running hard, finishing the run, making a statement. Great football so far.
Yeah, I'm trying to make out, I think it might have been Gabriel Lamon who had the first shot on Piedmont Mode in the backfield.
Couldn't quite get him down. Had a handful of the jersey, but just couldn't quite drag him down.
5.5 here needed to convert this third down.
Safety shading to the bottom of the field.
Need 5. Huber to pass. Picks up a nice block from Newick Matthews, and Huber will take it himself. Thought possibly he should have been patient there and tried to load. He had a couple of receivers heading downfield there, but chose to run it. Now they've got 4th down. They are inside officially Logan City territory now, whether that affects their decision. Huber looks like he's staying in though.
I think in this situation, it's kind of a game you've got to go for it here. Your defense has been playing well. I think you really got to try and push. You got to back yourself in this game to get that 4 yards. You've been practicing all week and all year for this kind of a situation to be able to convert. and really put your money where your mouth is when it comes to an execution standpoint. Coming out in the spread again, still the one high defense from the Bears as well.
Huber. Couple yards carry on his last down. Reverse pivot, the give will be to Newick Matthews. He'll be stopped well short of the line to gain. This Logan City defense now with 2 turnovers on downs for the day.
Kenneth Stevens there by looks of it getting downhill again. Great linebacker, great play so far. Two of the better linebackers in the league actually on display here. Between the 52 and 59 jerseys of the respective team. Great job getting downhill, stuffing the run, great ankle tackle. Again, real statement play there, saying that you will not run the ball inside on us.
And Kenneth Stevens, that's a player I haven't been able to cover yet. And if I were to redo the pre-show and start with the defense, I'd say it'd start with that young man. He is a rookie in this defense, but you would not know it.
No, definitely not.
He's respected by this team, the way he has performed, the way he's filled up the stat sheet over this course of this 2021 season. You would not tell it's his first season. Comes from an upbringing of American football, though. He is the stepson of longtime Wildcat Craig Moss, so he's been watching football for a long time, even if it is his first year participating in the sport. And they try to dump off the pass here to Corville again. Second time, maybe even the third time they've tried that. None of them have been successful quite yet.
Yeah, one way that this Bears offense actually tried to attack my defense a couple weeks ago was with these swing passes, really trying to trap the outside linebackers and edge defenders in bad situations, coming downhill on too steep of an angle. So far, though, it looks like the Raptor Spartans defense has prepared for this, and they're playing a very, very shallow defense to these swing passes and really coming downhill after the ball is in the air. So they're really defending it quite well. This is something that the Bears have tried to do throughout the season to catch some of these edge defenders napping.
2 backs in the backfield. They'll be there to protect me. He wants to go long, throws over the middle, finds Sligo. Sligo
Good
reversing
block.
field, trying to get upfield now. We'll get back to the original line of scrimmage, +1.
I think a big block there. I didn't catch a number. I believe it may have been Zach Corville downfield getting a big block there on the run. Run after catch, that is.
I think you might be right. Corville released after it, does a great job waiting for the receiver to not be defenseless.
Yeah, a big legal block there. One thing that's good to see. It was in front. It wasn't a blindside by any means. It was just a good hard football play.
9 yards now is needed here by Logan City.
Under center for one of the first times.
And Patrick Mee, you're right, under center. Awkward motion there. The referees allow it. They tried to give it to Corville. Corville not having a very happy day so far. Has seen a lot of grey and orange.
Again, this Spartans Raptors defensive front getting penetration, motion, trying to get the linebackers across, but they did not go for the fake, staying on play side, tracking the ball quite well. I think that actually is one of the first times we saw them go under center, which in a 3rd and long situation is a bit of an interesting call for all the times to pull it out. They have been quite gun heavy so far. 3rd and long leaning probably to that a bit more.
So Corville now moves from running back out to the left slot. Joining him there is the younger of the Sligo brothers, Finlay. Patrick Mee, protection was good, but a misunderstanding or perhaps a receiver tripping over there in Jordan Sligo. Incidental contact, no one seems to be stressed by it there, so Patrick Mee showing off a bit of arm strength.
Yeah, quite a good throw actually. If a receiver had been downfield for it, probably one of the better throws of the day so far. But again, seeing the receiver on the ground, probably potentially catching feet. But again, could be looking at the field is still a bit damp, potentially a bit hard to keep footing.
That was a 4th down conversion, I might add, despite my lack of tone on that play. So a big turnover and downs in response by the Spartan Raptors.
Be interesting to see if there's any changes getting closer to halftime from a schematic standpoint, if the teams have picked up anything.
1st down and 10. Tight end out to the right-hand side of the field here. 2 backs for the Raptors. And I think we're about to see a timeout.
Looks like a personnel issue. Personnel issue potentially, I think, from the Bears there having to call the timeout.
Well, for the Bears, having to use a timeout there leaves them with 1 remaining in this half. Of course, they used their first on their 2-point conversion attempt. Let's go back to quarterback Patrick Mee right now, who, despite the lack of passing production, has looked pretty decent.
He has, yeah. He's definitely had a quite good pocket presence so far. I don't believe he's been sacked yet. He has been hit in the backfield a few times, trying to get the ball out. Had good awareness on a couple of scrambles.
Only a couple of games under his belt so far, and I asked him about, what intentions were. He didn't start the year, obviously, starting at quarterback, but when he came over, he said that's what he wanted to do. He said he started in this sport, he said, quote-unquote, by himself, throwing passes to himself in the park, which a lot of aspiring quarterbacks do. Eventually found his way onto Google, naturally, as you do, found his closest club, which is Logan City here. Loves that he's getting the chance now to compete at the quarterback position. And I said, what is it about it, that you like? What haven't you liked? And he goes, well, the things I'm struggling with is obviously trying to get my head under remembering what everyone has to do on a play and the play calling in general and whatnot. But on the flip side, the thing I love most is just being able to sling it. I take a lot of pride in getting a tight spiral, and now I'm enjoying the challenge of trying to combine that with all the other aspects of being a quarterback right now. So, a well-spoken young man. He definitely had that sort of quarterback demeanor, I suppose, or one of the various sort of personalities I think you look for in a quarterback.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it.
They dump it off here. Newick Matthews, being a productive man. I don't know about the way he's holding that football, but when he's getting yards like that, I think you can overlook it.
Yeah, definitely a loose carry. Once again, a coach killer there, but a good shot put on Heath Gordon at the end of the play as well. Once again, running hard. Might not be lowering his pads, but running with good intensity. Getting downfield. Looks like that was number 13, actually.
I'm just getting an update here on Toby Joshua. Is the man wearing number 21, which wasn't on our team list. I actually had him crossed out under the understanding he had an Achilles injury, which I thought had him ruled out for most of the season. Clearly capable and back here playing in the playoffs. First down and 10. Pass is out of the hands from Huber. Nicely completed to Pamper Mode. And there it is. You can't hold him out forever. They tried a deep one to him earlier in the game. It didn't connect. This time, picture perfect.
Great adjustment there by the receiver as well. Being able to come back for the ball, but potentially slightly underthrown from the steps that he had on the defender, being able to adjust, not overrunning the route, and being able to cut back there as Gordon was coming across the field to make the tackle. Very tricky situation for the safety to be in that spot, but good play by the receiver.
Two-point conversion. Trying to add another 2 points here, and these can be gold, as I've discussed earlier in the call. Newick Matthews will add the 2. His day has been a productive one so far.
Yeah, great push up front there by the offensive line. Pretty much went almost untouched until he was 1 yard out. Actually, I'm completely wrong there, Kenny. Hitting the backfield a little bit, but only arm tackles there. From Logan City, no one able to put a good shoulder on the running back in the backfield. Pretty easy walk in the end. Newick Matthews running very, very hard. I'll say it again. Really, really trying to take over the game, and so far I'd have to say that he pretty much has.
He has. It's not like he's just taking advantage of good blocking, not to undo the work by the offensive line and all the respective blockers of the team, but he's doing a lot of this stuff by breaking tackles himself.
Yeah, exactly. The first contact, second contact, even third contact in some situation, he's breaking and getting yards. Your expectations for a running back might be make one man miss and be able to move the second tackle attempt for an extra 3 yards, but he's taking first contact, second contact, and the third contact 20 yards downfield almost. The Bears' defense being a little bit undisciplined in some areas as well with some of their responsibilities in run defense, it seems. What
can we say about Newick Matthews? His balance has been on display.
Oh, definitely.
His center of gravity looks like it doesn't move that much between left and right of him if you were to just draw a line down his body. Has a good job of just keeping his hips underneath him.
Yep.
And that's allowing him to shake and bake so many of his defenders. Line drive kickoff here as the Bears looking to answer back as they've done once so far this game. And this is Butcher, the Logan City equivalent of Newick Matthews as we've compared the two so far today.
Yeah, I think excellent kick coverage there by the Raptors Spartans. keeping contained, not giving him the outside bounce, and forcing the runner back into the middle of the field, keeping the ball between the hashes, let alone the numbers. Very, very good coverage.
I'm just going to try and use my sideline contacts here to get a bit of a time check. See if I can get an official time here before I possibly overreact to a end of half play like I may have done last week.
I'll have to abstain from commenting on that one, Kenny. I was watching and I quite liked the reaction.
So we can't be left with a whole lot of time here in the first half of the game.
We haven't quite had a 2-minute warning yet, I don't believe, so probably 3, 4, 5 minutes potentially.
I'm hoping Brian Balsamo does us a favour and really emphasises the 2-minute warning. They can be a bit sneaky with it sometimes, as this is Corville's trying to find a way to contribute to this team. Right now it's been mostly in the blocking game.
Great play from the edge defender there. It seems going under centre is really actually letting this Raptor Spartans defence kind of tee off almost, especially off the edge here. Once again, not being able to get that really impactful lead block, and the second defender being there as well
to
make the play.
Ultimately made the block, but I do want to note the edge defender there. I couldn't quite make out the number there. Did a good job making that run bounce back in. Second down and long now. It looks like it's going to be 10 plus 4.
Split back look again.
Patrick Mee using both backs to protect. Hit as he throws, leading the pass to fall well short of his target there, and Heath Gordon. And now they'll have a third and long here, and you can feel the momentum and the energy starting to build on this Raptan sideline.
Oh, definitely. Looking at that play just there from a protection standpoint, it looks like the running back's potentially getting a little bit tired, not stepping up in protection there and letting these pass rushers get quite deep into the backfield before the offensive line actually gets any help. And again, being an undersized offensive line, they really do need that assistance. Looks like they're going empty here.
Yeah, they've got the complete opposite. No, lost.
Back staying in.
Staying in for them is
high snap.
Holthy snaps too high, and ultimately 2 Spartan Raptors had cracks at it. Both of them going overs, and this will be recovered by Logan City. But the Spartan Raptors now will have a chance to load up and block a punt.
I think we had a bit of a greedy play there potentially by the Raptor Spartans, kind of going for the ball to get it for the touchdown even, rather than just diving directly on the ball and recovering it.
Wanted to scoop and score.
Yes, didn't just want the ball. Looks like a Bears player down out the back of the end zone.
All the way at the back. Looks like to me it might be Aston Dante Quarter, the number 9, if my eyes don't deceive me. And the medics having to cover a lot of ground on this one. And this could be a bit of a lengthy break. We might take our first audio break if possible. The Spartan Raptors taking on Logan City here. Playoff football 2021 back shortly. Alright, welcome back. First injury timeout of the day. Hopefully less of that today, or close to none. Obviously an unavoidable part of the game, but it is what it is, and the young man looks to have returned to the sideline under his own power here, so fingers crossed that young Dante's okay. But a 4th down punt here from the sticks of his own goalpost behind him, gets a bit of an upward spiral on it, and it's not Pima Mode returning. This is the 30, and Eden Neal beats one tackler, and now will back his way inside the 10. The Spartans Raptors offense can't ask for a whole lot of better starting field position than this.
Again, it looks like we just had a little bit of contain lost on the edge there of the coverage by a little bit of a cheeky block by the looks of it. Again, no arms in the tackle there. Getting an extra few yards, going for the big hit, potentially try and get the ball back rather than just trying to wrap up the ball carrier. I believe that was Jarrett Powell making first contact.
Timeout now, 3rd and final to the Logan City Bears. I believe. No timeout.
I think it was called from the far side.
Well, I thought I saw a timeout signal, and now I think they're about to be pinged.
I thought I saw a timeout signal as well from the far sideline, but
Oh, okay.
12 men.
I think they had 12 men, so I think they used the timeout to avoid the penalty. But in that case, when you're backed up like that, I would have just taken the penalty.
Yeah.
That being said, I guess it's a free play for the offense if you allow it. So.
I think it's interesting to see them still down in the spread down here as well.
Well, actually, no. I think what's happened here is they realised that situation, so they wanted to keep their timeout, and that's why the penalty just got applied. Newick Matthews looking for number 2 will be
Touchdown.
in for it. I thought he was going to be inches short. That's a second touchdown for that young man.
Again, just getting those few yards after contact. Almost stopped at the goal line there, but some good interior penetration. Just got to make that tackle on first contact in the backfield. Can't let him get outside. We've already seen how dangerous he is today. Again, breaking tackles, this time only needing that 2 or 3 yards for the touchdown.
And I'm going to make sure that we got the right play there. It was Newick Matthews. We might take a look at the touchdown again after this 2-point conversion. Now, is this a change at quarterback?
I think it is.
It is. With a new quarterback in, and nevertheless, they'll ditch this off to Newick Matthews. Newick Matthews will add the extras. So an 8-point lead here.
Who does that like at quarterback there? Number 92, is it?
Yeah,
Kai Kerr.
He did split reps at quarterback throughout the season. You know, he had a non-throwing arm injury, which is the reason I didn't see him play last week, back in week 6. Last time, I should say.
Looking down on the sideline here of the Raptors Spartans, it does not appear to be an injury at all to Huber at quarterback at the moment. He's still walking around fine, potentially just a kind of a package play they had set up.
Quite possibly, especially if they needed the points there. And as I said, you know, he has played quite a few snaps this year, Kai Kerr, so I shouldn't be too surprised. But there's that man on screen who's doing most of the damage, Newick Matthews. Second touchdown of the day, plus now a conversion.
Looking like a very, very fit young man as well, considering.
As this kickoff comes out of us, I do want to make a correction here. I've been trying to preach as if the last time Logan City competed for a junior Sun Bowl was back in 2009. It was last year. It was last year against the Gold Coast Stingrays, of course. Trying to remember a lot of facts this weekend, very early in the morning.
Yes.
That's it. Last year, of course, against the Gold Coast Stingrays.
Squib kick.
And this will be recovered. First tackle broken there, trying to make out the upback's number. It was, again, jersey number 10, Jordan Hitchens. And
as I was saying before the kick, Newick Matthews looking like potentially he's actually going back onto the field now, playing all these offensive snaps, a lot of contact so far, but still on kickoff. So clearly being used as a Swiss Army knife. Good athlete, getting his money's worth for sure.
Using offense, using them on defense. So, by my count, still haven't got the 2-minute warning. Oh, hang on. 4:36 was a while ago, so we're awfully close to it now. And a flag here, possible delay of game. Some substitution problems now for Logan City. They had the issue on defense just a few plays ago. Now on offense, they're breaking the huddle with one too many.
Yeah, it looks like.
Just to explain that penalty, why don't you go ahead, Connor, and explain
as per the rules of the game, breaking the huddle with 12 offensive players, you are not allowed to. So the penalty there for illegal substitution, the player going off after breaking the huddle, from my understanding at least, is what they were called for just there.
3 minutes and 10 seconds. Time update here in the first half here. Patrick Mee steps up and will get sacked. Felt the pressure there. I mean, credit to for the young man stepping up in the quarterback, but you can see the eyes drop as soon as they need to. A good job there from the Spartans defense.
Yeah, I think that was quite well schemed there. They put a spy in for the quarterback by the looks of it. As soon as he's stepping up, the spy's coming downfield, making a tackle, really taking away that scrambling lane.
Trying to make out who that might be. I guess that within the morning shadows, the black lines, it's making out some of these black numbers on the Spartan Raptors jerseys. Not easy.
Looking like number 88 potentially. Coming off the edge now.
And is that a change in quarterback again? Is there a change in quarterback from both sides here? That pass is completed to Sligo, who has been the biggest contributor to this Logan City offense today. But I think we've seen a change in quarterback now on Logan City. Now throwing passes for the Bears is Jarrett Powell, who started the season at quarterback, moved to tight end to accommodate for Patrick, and now here he is back at quarterback.
Offense might just need a bit of a spark, looking for something new.
Possibly.
This is a one and done game, so you got to leave everything out on the field.
Yeah, it's interesting. Speaking to the young man, he said he really appreciated the move to tight end. You know, he said he tried quarterback, said it wasn't for me. I prefer being a tight end. Here he is now back at quarterback. He steps up. Pretty ball over the top, but almost for an interception. Lingering underneath it and possibly reading it that little bit too hard was Preston Harris.
Yeah, it looks like just trying to drop the ball in front of the safety there. Safety playing a bit deep, middle of the field hole. Against, again, the cover one defense. Looks like slightly overthrown. A couple extra inches on the receiver there. Perhaps that ball is brought down.
The pass was completed there to Zachary Perrin. But yeah, Jarrett Powell still in the game, coming out of the ball pretty. His tight end influence was someone I appreciated. He was a Gesicki fan. And I'm like, I was very glad not to hear another Kelsey or Gronk or even Kittle, who I love. But Mike Gesicki, in my opinion, one of the most underappreciated tight ends in the NFL.
Tight end for the Miami Dolphins.
4th down and 4 yards here. Powell looking for Perrin. Perrin went up with one hand. I think he might have even been able to get a second to it there. Falls incomplete. Turnover on downs.
I think the receiver there pleading for pass interference. Looked like there was a bit of contact downfield, but...
no, he's wide open. I don't know what you're pleading for. It's actually the other, it's 21.
21, pleading Gordon, and that ball was catchable by Gordon. Perhaps the contact from the other Bears receiver might have stopped the flag getting thrown, perhaps making it an uncatchable ball in the end, but certainly not the result that the Bears were looking for.
So 2-minute warning can't be too far away. First down and 10.
Looks like some late substitutions from the Raptor Spartans, getting players onto the field.
Well, usual quarterback stays there, so I think it was just a 2-point package for the Spartan Raptors. Huber with a nice handoff. Newick Matthews, who else? Just slicing them up the middle. Wonderful work from the Spartan Raptors offensive line.
Looks like it's going to come back for a hold though. Flag down. Looking where the hold was, probably on the interior there. You don't get a hole that big on the offensive line unless something with potentially a hold there, making the hole so big on the offensive line. Didn't get a number, sadly, but it looks like potentially the left guard would be my guess. Again, a real coach killer. Good run inside, but we're moving back 10 yards anyway.
So first down and forever. The ball is now spotted all the way back at the Spartan Raptors 30-yard line. East of that, in fact. Even with a spread formation, 2 receivers either side here. Needs about 20 plus yards.
Switch concept again.
Protection is good. He lets it fly downfield. Coverage was decent on the play. The pass was intended to, I think, number 30 there, Neil.
Yeah, going back to that switch concept again that they almost hit on earlier in the game. But again, looks like we did have a receiver running down the seam to that top side of the field. I believe it was number 21, Heath Gordon. Sorry,
Yeah,
wrong
it's,
team
it's,
list.
Toby Joshua, the man who slipped into a different jersey this week.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of a play miss there by the Raptor Spartans taking that shot. Wrong receiver thrown to.
2nd and 21. 3 receivers out now to the boundary side. High snap. And this play will be blown dead, however. And I think a wise timeout called there from head coach, either Jared Garrity or maybe even might have been the offensive coordinator, and John Huber, father of quarterback.
I think looking at this, Huber's not too happy about something.
Some errors now creeping in. We had a couple of personnel issues with Logan City. Now, maybe some similar lineup issues here with Sunshine Coast, Morden Bay, but you can see very animated there. Offensive coordinator John Huber. I've spoken about his sort of experience over the years. You know, he's coached at various levels in America, and then he even was the wide receivers assistant for the New Orleans Saints during the lockout year of the NFL. Yeah, contributed in a couple of the Junior Sun Devil campaigns as well. So a lot of experience for a man who knows a lot about football.
Yeah, I'm speaking with John myself throughout the season, just casual chats when we see each other at games. He just loves developing skill position players. Obviously, his area of expertise. He's done it at a very the highest level possible at that. I think a lot of that chat potentially was about urgency. Looking at how they're running out of the huddle there, a lot of urgency. As we've said, this is a one and done game. You've got to leave everything out on the field, and if people are taking reps off.
Well, we missed the 2-minute warning there. We're at 1:21 for my sideline update. 2nd down, 21 yards needed. Toby in motion, and this play again called dead.
Potentially illegal motion. 5 in the backfield, Matt. Maybe looking where the flag is.
False start. See if we can spot it here on replay. It's none of the linemen. The linemen can breathe easy.
Looks like it must have been the receiver to the bottom side there. Not sure what number that was.
Well, 2nd and 21 now becomes a 2nd and 26. Not a whole lot of plays in the playbook for this, although the switch concept right now would seem quite relevant.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
However, 2nd down, they can just try to earn some of this yardage back.
Wouldn't be surprised another swing pass potentially to the top of the screen here. There's 3 receivers out there.
To that direction, one of them in motion, trying to make it his number. It is the 21 and Toby Joshua.
Going back to the same play.
And they just ran the same play. Newick Matthews, they're asking him to make something happen. And the defense starting to now stiffen up towards his outside runs.
Yeah, the Bears making a conscious effort now to get downhill on the outside here and really take away these outside runs. Good contain there by number 33.
And also
covered on my list.
Kenny Stevens with a beautiful angle from linebacker. Very patient.
Once again, with the edge contained there, linebackers able to fill downhill on their interior gaps. Really just takes away any run. Not able to keep the legs moving on that one.
3rd down now, a chance for them to just bring their heat here. Watch Kenny Stevens. I saw a couple of blitz packages being practiced at practice. They whip that out now. No, they'll use them in coverage. Going downfield,
open
underneath it, and couldn't bring it in. I don't know where the sun is. Wondering if he lost it in there, but the pass was intended to wide receiver Hayden Cinnamon, who's been yet to be targeted today. Had a touchdown, if you ask me, waiting for him. Can't locate the ball.
Yeah, it looks like he just lost it at the last second. Maybe half a yard too deep, didn't quite extend and lay out for the ball. But yeah, definitely, Kenny, that's definitely a big play gone waiting.
Managed to get the best there of young Colby Denian, who's moved to juniors for the first time. He's playing his junior year, his rookie year in juniors, I should say, after graduating from the youth program. 4th down now, and the punter is out. I think the punter is Cinnamon. Cinnamon now putting a bit of the frustration of that last non-catch into this punt.
Great punt.
And it looked like the Logan City played defense on that last play, and that's solid field position. We're inside a minute now. 1:06 was the time given to me prior to that punt. So a final minute now here for Logan City to try and add something Let's see which quarterback has been sent out. Whether it's starter Paddy Mee or Jarrett Powell.
I think from what we saw on those last few plays, I think personally I'd be sending Powell back out. The deep ball looked a little bit nicer.
There he is.
I'd expect a couple deep shots here, potentially again trying to get some of these swing passes going. Try and get some big run after catch opportunities. That's what I'm expecting.
Another thing he brought up regarding his time at quarterback and moving at tight end, he said, you know, often when you learn another position, it can really contribute to development to another position. And he goes,
better game sense overall.
I've definitely learned certain ways I can adjust my routes to help quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's breaking something off a little bit early or not adding so much salt and pepper onto it, to something. Anyway,
Fumble.
this ball's lost. Corville not having a super day. I don't know if that was maybe just a bit of rustiness with a handoff exchange there between quarterback and running back there, but safely recovered by Corville.
Looked like the arm might have been a bit lower, the running back there, just knocking the ball out. Oh, actually forced fumble there, but I can't see the number there. It looks like a bit of a peanut punch there in the backfield, getting that ball out.
Isn't that the dream? To have a football maneuver named after you. Shout out to Peanut Tillman.
Very, very, very underappreciated defensive back, I think.
Oh, I don't know. You have a whole move named after you. I think there's a fair bit of appreciation.
From a coverage standpoint, though, you know,
Well, maybe that.
He's known for his run support, but overall a very good player.
Declined penalty on the play there. They'll just take the loss of down. Yet to see a holding call today. And Corville gets another carry, trying to redeem himself and try to make something happen here. Grabs a few yards, goes out of bounds, flags thrown all the way back at the Logan City 21.
I think they might be going for a horse collar here, potentially. Not sure if the hand got inside the jersey or not.
Yeah, I don't think that should be a horse collar. I mean, but the definition is the nameplate.
Yeah, they're going for a horse collar call.
That's it. It's not just the collar nowadays, it's the nameplate, I believe. So if you grab, even though maybe the replay suggests he grabbed just under, if you grab in that sort of general area and you have a straight down motion, that's going to be called every time. And it makes it easier for referees nowadays with so many jerseys actually having nameplates on them.
That is very true, that is very true, yes.
Something I don't mind being included in Gridiron Queensland finally. As a caller, makes my job a lot easier until
Definitely.
everyone starts wearing everyone else's jerseys.
Yes.
Second down now. First down following the horse collar tackle. Powell
Sack.
has to evade the pressure, but he goes down, getting in for the sack. Well, if he's wearing 32, he's not on my team list.
Looks like a bit of an inside move there from the rusher. Tackle oversetting potentially. Just going inside. Timeout here.
And we might try to see if we can get that last play on replay from the main camera again, because I'm trying to work out the number of the sack getter.
Could have been a blitz actually from the outside back, looking at it now.
It's a good job to have all levels covered, so no matter where the quarterback went, you get pressure on his face.
Yeah, from a schematic standpoint, that was quite an excellent
lose
call
that number in
actually.
the shadows.
Yeah, with the edge rushers both going deep into the pocket, trying to get forcing the quarterback up, and they've seen the scrambling lane sending the outside back at a clean up. I think that's a really, really good schematic blitz there that they've called and really, really paid off.
Shout out there to head coach and Jared Garrity. He handles the defense on this Spartan Raptors side. Second down and 15 now, following that sack.
Are they going to play conservative, or are they going to go for
This
the
could be
points?
the last play of the game. 4 seconds remaining according to our sideline report. Oh, I thought he had one. Oh no, here goes Kai Pimmer mode with the intercept. has the ability to bring this back all the way.
Huge block there.
Unless someone can take him down, and saving a touchdown there is Tyrell Butcher, and I think that will bring us to half.
He had a half-decent chance for the pick six there. Just the ball potentially a bit underthrown. A receiver open downfield. You can't see on the replay. You can see him at the end there. On the interior as well, looks like a big block on the inside as well from number 28 potentially. Looking at it, Stuart Eller perhaps making a big block on the return there. Zachary
Perrin open on that last play. However, moot point now is we are at halftime here. The Spartan Raptors, hailing from Moreton Bay and Sunshine Coast, they have a solid 2-possession lead here, 20 points to 6 here at Deception Bay Sports Centre. We're going to take a quick break for halftime. Join us back on the other end of it. Second half action to be on its way. Kenny Andres, Connor Brewster joining you after this. Hello, welcome back to the 2021 playoffs, the junior division. Currently halfway through as we speak, coming to you live from Deception Bay Sports Centre here in the Moreton Bay region of southeast Queensland. We have the combined clubs, I should say, of the Sunshine Coast Spartans and the Moreton Bay Raptors, currently leading last year's Sun Bowl runners-up, the Logan City Bears, by the score of 20 points to 6. And currently large in part from the efforts of number 13 for the Spartan Raptors, Kazuya Newick Matthews. Kenny Andres, Connor Brewster talking you through the action. And after this kick return, which is by another
good return,
young man doing a pretty good job from Tyrell Butcher. Connor Brewster, wrap up your first half thoughts here and give us a lead into the second half.
Looked like both offenses were a little bit stagnant, a bit of a defensive matchup to start out. The Raptors Spartans started to figure it out a bit more, moving into the second quarter, moving the ball, really just leaning on Newick Matthews and his quite powerful running style for the day. Breaking first, second, third contact. The Bears defense not really able to match up against him. Really ran away with that second quarter, literally and figuratively.
Indeed. First down and 10 now. Logan City trailing by 2 scores. Do get the ball here to start the second half.
Bit of confusion looks like already.
Yeah, they towards the back end of the first half, personnel issues reared their head. Back at quarterback now, Patrick Nee gets a completion, but the intended screenplay maybe only nets them half a yard.
Looks like he took a shot as well at the end of that play, flag down the bottom of the screen, I think. A blitz coming off the bottom edge again. Raptors still sending some pressure.
Scrub that, actually, no. I thought they were moving that down back. I was right. Half a yard, if that. Looks like the line of scrimmage is still there, but flag actually on Logan City we missed.
Looks like 5 in the backfield, I believe. Legal formation.
Move them back 5 yards here. Penalty starting to creep into both sides now as we enter the middle portions of the game. Someone I think they've done a half-decent job of, the Logan City team, is Jonathan Hyden, who came in as really the guy that everyone wanted to circle on their game plan list from Logan City. Right now, been rather limited. His pass over the middle falls incomplete, intended for Gordon. Falls to the turf, and we'll have 2nd and 15 ahead of us.
Just a fraction high again from that crossing route there. Almost got the connection as they did earlier in the game, I believe, to Sligo. Just a touch high. Safety not in position to make the pick. However, played the man, not the ball.
So yes, Patrick Nee is back at starter. Whether that was due to injury or whether that was a chance to shake things up, I guess we won't know before the end of this game. But the quarterback who started this game is back now, 5 wide, throwing over the top, pass intended, I believe, there to Finlay Tamati Sligo. But incomplete there. And we discussed during halftime there that we really would love to see Logan City try to work the middle of the field a little more of the intermediate range, and not be threatened by the 2-score lead right now, and just continue to try and find production in what was working for them in the first quarter.
Exactly, yeah. Really kind of, as Kenny said, stick to the intermediate passing and trying to keep the ball in the air, keep it kind of between the hashes and between the numbers as much as possible. More of these outside deep shots getting a bit more difficult for quarterbacks of this age and ability.
3rd and 15, we'll go back to more of that in a second. Same formation, 3 receivers out to the left. Patrick Mee looking downfield, delivers a shot. Pass intended there to Gordon, but once again incomplete. And I'll commend the young man for being able to keep his eyes up this time down while stepping up and still looking for a target downfield. But what a lot of people don't understand is how much arm strength or technique is really needed to get a ball crisply to the outside. And when we say outside, we're talking outside of the numbers there.
Yeah.
You know, that can be like close to a 25, 30 yard throw at sometimes.
I think on that last play there as well, I think he locked his eyes a little bit too narrow there. He actually had Perrin releasing on quite a good concept, but it looks like releasing down the seam. If he just lobbed that ball up a little bit further, that very easily could have been a touchdown to the Bears. I think that one went asking there.
In the field, the senior teams rolling in now. We'll get back to that in a second. Same formation, 5 wide receivers once more. This play is going to be whistled dead. We've had that happening now a fair bit during the second and now third quarters.
I think we might have an inadvertent whistle here, and down might be replayed, I think. So they are going for it on 4th down as well, which I only just realised. Start.
And again, on the...
I think you've got to punt it here, Kenny. I think you've really got to punt it here.
I think you have, and that's what they're doing. They're sending Callum Urquhart here to try and get this punt away now. But good news for the Spartan Raptor camp. So that's just another opportunity for Clive Pima-Mode to get into the open space.
I think one thing to watch as well, the quarterback there, Patrick Mee, actually limping off the field a little bit, so maybe there is a bit of an injury being carried here.
Possibly. Keep an eye out for jersey number 15 next drive. Urquhart's punt is end over end, fielded cleanly from Pima-Mode, who gets a bit of a running start, cuts underneath Sligo, but Sligo won't let him go. Nice tackle there in the open field. Pima-Mode, though, picks up about 15 yards on the return.
Yeah, good return there. Good coverage as well, just overall good contact, good contain, not letting him get to that outside, and good way to finish the tackle as well.
So Huber, young man, I met him last week here. He was just lingering around, no game for him to play obviously. And on the field, I think he looks to me a lot bigger than when I met him in real life there. I don't know if he's got the back plate on or whatnot. He really is a young kid, so it makes it impressive when he seems to run the offense as confidently as he does. Definitely moves like a prepared quarterback.
Late substitution here by the Bears. They're going to catch him on the field.
No, they won't.
They do
First
not.
down and 10. And here he is again. Kazuya Newick Matthews. Right now the game plan seems to be just let him run with it.
Yeah, it does. I think as much as they had a good play result there, I think they missed out on a bit of an opportunity to catch the Bears with 12 men on the field as well. But in the end, it doesn't matter. They trust their ground attack right now. They're just going to keep the ball on the ground. They didn't need the extra 5 yards. They end up getting the first down anyway. I think it'll be interesting to see if they try and throw anything onto the run game as well, any reverses or anything like that.
Which is very typical of at least the Sunshine Coast contingent of this team. Huber with 2 backs in the backfield. Newick Matthews is to the left. He gets targeted. Kenny Stevens out there to try and make that tackle, and that he does. And a good tackle there in the open field by Stevens, one of the defensive leaders. You and I discussed him, and I made it clear that I felt that maybe he needed to get involved a little more in the blitz game, and he tended to agree.
Yeah, definitely. If this Raptor Spartans team, again, if it's just run filling, gap filling on a blitz, it's going to work the same. But if they are, Raptor Spartans going to keep trying to keep this ball in the air, sending the extra man, sending that 5, even the 6-man pressure package could be what they need to get a big hit in the backfield, force a fumble, make an errant throw, playing from behind. As much as you've got to play your game, you've still got to play aggressive. You can't roll over and play too passive.
3 wide to the open side of the field. Newick Matthews in the backfield. Now Pim Moget put in motion, and we might have a false start here. A delayed game. Cuba couldn't get the play off in time. I think that's why he was desperately wanting that motion to come across. That'll cost him 5.
I think, one thing to really harp there is if you are going to get the motion on the play, you've got to get that play call in early and really break the huddle early.
2nd down and 15. Maybe closer to 16 in fact. PM mode motions, gets into the backfield, be used as a lead blocker. Newick Matthews guiding himself through the blockers. And geez, didn't he read that well?
Oh, definitely. Getting that motion man across, it's really sealing the edge. Kind of a very, very similar play call to very similar setup, at least trying to get that swing pass early, getting the extra man in front and getting that cutback lane as we talked about earlier.
Huge block there. I don't know who was there. Maybe it was the tight end in on the play there who completely cleaned Stevens out of the play.
And that's what it really comes down to. If you're going to get bodies on these linebackers and really get these second-level blocks, your run game opens up entirely. These 3-4 yard gains turn into 7, 8, 9s very quickly.
1st down and 10.
Run again.
Given the job again. This time tackled by Urquhart initially underneath. Not before grabbing a good chunky yardage. Looks like 5, maybe 6 yards in fact on that last run.
Yeah, I think the Raptor Spartans being quite smart with this as well, keeping the ball on the ground, keeping the clock running as well. They're playing with the lead, they're playing smart. A 10, 12, 15 play drive even on the ground is what they want. It's what the Bears don't want. The Bears need the ball back. The Raptor Spartans can play keep away here and just play with the lead. They're in a very, very good situation. Offensive line's really fired up, it looks like, as well. Really taking pride in this ground game right now.
Dropping back, Huber has to throw off his back foot. Peter Road comes with him though.
Good move.
Beats the first defender, and he's again displaying his skill in the open field. The elusiveness right now causing trouble here for Logan City.
Yeah, I really like that play call there, actually, getting this run inside several plays, keeping the ball on the ground, and then going to this more condensed formation, really selling the run from the formation, and then getting these out routes, just that quick dump off. Really, really good schematics play calling there from John Huber. Quite a fan of that, actually.
It's very similarly used to what they use in the NFL as well, where they come into these packages, they'll still happily pass out of it, but they'll get into a run-heavy package. 2 backs in the backfield, Kazoya, Newick Matthews to the left. Peter Moe to the right, they'll give his to Newick Matthews. Again, beating a defender initially, but the rest of the stop troops come in. Stevens, one of them. Also Hay making the tackle there at the line of scrimmage. In fact, a loss of a yard or 2.
Yeah, good interior penetration there. This Bears defense really selling a run right now and really committing to stopping the run. Backers shooting downhill. Defensive line getting penetration, but again, we'll go back to it. Newick Matthews breaking first contact, making the first, second guy miss. If that third guy's not there, Bears are in trouble. Going back to the spread down here.
As we go 2nd and goal here, a couple of yards out. Huber will roll, looking for the end zone, gets it, can't complete the pass. It was a beautiful throw there from Huber, only where Pima Mode could get it, but he loses control of it as he's bringing it towards his chest.
I think it's some really great pocket presence as well on the roll, something we talked about at halftime, is getting these quarterbacks on the move a bit more and getting them in, as much as that was forced again by the blitz from the edge defender, which I believe was number 33 again. If these quarterbacks can get moving, opens up these short out routes, again, quarterback to run, a lot of options out in the red zone. As
we go, 3rd and goal now, a chance for Logan City to once again deny red zone trip.
Blitz coming.
They're caught on the blitz. Newick Matthews can't find his way. They're taken down from behind. And now we'll have a 4th and goal situation here. Bears needing a stop here to keep this to a 2-possession game.
Yeah, again, Bears just selling out on the run, getting that run blitz from the inside linebacker there, at least forcing some kind of a cut in the backfields so that Newick Matthews can't get downhill. Didn't try and take on the defender heads on, tried to put a move on. I'm expecting a run again here, Kenny. I'm expecting a run.
Why not? Especially when you have 2 scores in the bank. Newick Matthews and Peter Mode. The backfield contingent along with Huber. They'll pitch it, use the speed of Pierre Mode. Initial tackle is there, and initially wasn't enough. Ball's been lost into the end zone for a Spartan Raptors touchdown. It looks like Toby Joshua has come up with the unlikely score.
I think we're definitely going to see that one on replay and really dissect what went on there, because it's a bit of a messy play, but it's definitely the result they want.
Take a look here. He gets stopped short.
Again, keeping his balance on first and second contact.
I think he's...
It looked like he almost reached to try and
That's what I was
get
thinking.
it himself.
What might be in his favour there, I think he was on top of a couple of Logan City defenders.
Yep.
Which kept him...
So, I believe
alive.
we are... Yes, and now if I'm thinking, I don't believe that was a touchdown. I believe because it was 4th down, the fumble couldn't be advanced by anyone except ball carrier.
Oh, exactly right. I was just thinking it's not fourth quarter or inside the 2, so therefore it could be, but you're right, it was on 4th down. So that will be a turnover on downs. A huge play here for Logan City. So working from
Trying to get the cut back.
their own goal line now, their own end zone in fact. They're trying to get Butcher back involved. He was damaging, scored their lone touchdown in the 2nd quarter. It's been pretty quiet since. And hang on, did I just see another change in quarterback?
Did I just see number 2, Jordan Sligo?
Jordan Sligo there for a bit of a wild bear package.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, most bears are wild.
Stand-up comedy, folks, is what we're best at.
Well, it is in fact Sligo a quarterback. But to Corville they go. They're trying to get the interior running game going with him. That's the best run he's had this afternoon, and that's the sort of work they've needed from him. Hopefully expecting to get more of that here this second half. Plenty of late flags coming in on the back end of that run.
Yeah, I think the Bears need to focus on that a bit more out of the gun. Again, Kenny and I discussed at halftime. Running out of the gun a bit more under center. It seems like the Raptor Spartans are teeing off a bit. They're holding the edge very well, no matter the formation that the Bears are throwing at them. So I think this interior run game is going to be very, very important. It'll be interesting to see what this flag is, though. Whether there may have been some extracurriculars on the tackle would be my guess from the position of the flag.
Otherwise, outside of that, if this is to be enforced, it's been a pretty disciplined game of football as far as that sort of stuff's been about. But of course, as full time gets closer and the reality of the situation sinks in a bit more, we'll see how the tempers continue to simmer or boil. It's actually Jordan Sligo, who's now a quarterback. Even his younger brother Finn, both explained how they've had to really look and focus and concentrate on improving that the last few weeks of the season. Sligo with a ejection in the latter part of their season here, and he felt he really hurt his team with that, so he's been making a conscious effort of trying to keep his cool in these situations.
I believe we had a unsportsmanlike conduct on the Bears, actually, so as much as it is still a first down, I believe, from the signal. We are looking at a loss of yardage.
First down and 10 from the Bears, 9 now. And is that another change of quarterback? This pass sailed in the air for ages.
Intercepted.
And the Spartan Raptors will punish them for it.
I I think we can contribute the blitz there to that errant throw. I'm not exactly sure who came off the edge there from the bottom of your screen, but there was a defender directly in the face of the quarterback as he threw. A bit underthrown. The receiver potentially did have a play on it if the ball was out where it needed to be, but turnover.
And guess who picked it off? Kazuya Newick-Matthews.
I think he might have locked up the MVP for this one already, potentially.
Oh, if we gave MVPs in playoff games, you'd be in hot contention.
Second injury time out of the game, it seems. Again, he said the discipline's been very, very good. The injury factor has also been very, very good for both teams.
And there shouldn't be too long of a break here. The injured player is already off the field. So I might just safely relocate him and continue to roll.
See again if this Raptor Spartans offense is going to keep the ball on the ground and try and chew this clock.
And Zoya Newick-Matthews. They need to find a way to try and redirect this man, because if he can get a full head of steam to the outside, he starts doing a fair bit of damage.
Yeah, definitely, especially getting outside, attacking these smaller coverage style bodies rather than attacking the bigger run stuffing bodies in the middle. It's definitely where they want the ball. I think the Bears have really got to set some hard contain lines here and maybe adjust some alignments on defense to really force the ball carrier back inside. Again, to the bigger bodies that are going to be able to match up better. Some communication from the linebacker in the middle about something, Kenneth Stevens.
And it'll be a long pass to the end zone here, back of the end zone, looking for Pierre Mahmoud. Had he been a good foot taller, maybe he was half a chance there. Sails on him. Getting confirmation that there was the unsportsmanlike conduct, I think, was a kick to the head.
Oh, interesting. I think the receiver there just stopping his route a little bit, turning back a little bit too early. If he had continued on his route, then there would be a very, very good situation for a catch in the back of the end zone, but sadly held up.
Third down now. Another much needed stop here for Logan City. Desperately trying to hold on here and give their offense another chance. Stevens beats a block and misses the tackle. Newick-Matthews making defenders look silly right now. Flags in on the play.
I think seeing that it is going to come back, though, looking like a hold on one of the offensive linemen by the hand signal. I believe we may see it on the film here. Number 98 there, I believe, holding penalty. Again, that's one thing you do bring into effect with the outside run game. Defenders getting outside of frames of blockers, and all of a sudden a hand slips here, there's a jersey grab here, and the dirty laundry comes out.
And especially as the sun starts to creep out, the closer we get to midday here, the heat is going to play a factor. Last week wasn't such a big deal. It was an overcast day with plenty of breeze between all the four teams competing. But today, the wind is at a very, very slight and infrequent breeze at best.
Yes.
And the sun is well and truly present, and that's a timeout here called to Sunshine Coast, I believe.
Yeah, it really is a bit of I can imagine at least us being in shade, we're very blessed, but out in the middle of the very baking heat, especially under those helmets. It's going to be very, very interesting, as you say, getting into the fourth quarter. If we are going to get this more lateral east-west style run game going, who is going to get more tired? The defense chasing, the offense having to move, really, really get physical with these blocks, physical with these runs. Who is going to give first? Again, Raptors Spartans playing with the lead. They are in a very, very good position here to keep the ball on the ground and chew out the clock. I think my guess would be that the Bears have only had the ball for maybe 3 minutes of game time so far, and I imagine we wouldn't be getting far off the end of the third quarter with the amount the clock has been running.
And I will take this opportunity to once again thank both LSB Australia and to making sure that our friends here at the Moreton Bay Raptors looked after us. We're safely under a
Yes.
tent here, and just even stepping outside a couple of feet to my left there to the sun, it definitely is beaming down. So very grateful for our makeshift calling booth here today. Middle of third.
First 2 high look of the day from the Bears, I believe.
Here we are, 3rd and 15. Qd with a bit of work to do. Climbs
Dropped.
the bucket and Hay will take him down in the backfield. This Logan City defense, it is inspiring to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. They're fighting. You know, they really are fighting. I believe we were looking at a blitz situation there again, as we talked about, sending some pressure, trying to get a big play, a sack, disrupting a drive. You know, with big sack on 3rd down, looking at fourth and almost 20, or about 20, I'd say. Big play there from the Bears defense to keep their team in the game.
Logan City Bears senior head coach Shane Pross is obviously licking his lips at the idea of having Hay move up to the senior program next year after spending a full 5 years here down in the junior division for Logan City. 4th down now, and it is Cinnamon here to punt it. It gets blocked at the line of scrimmage and recovered. I'm just making sure he didn't lose it there. And the man who got the last sack there, and Ashton Hay. Speak of the devil.
Very, very lucky to hold on to the ball there, Ashton Hay, in the end there after the blocked punt. Those balls can really, really go anywhere, you know. Coming down, getting himself on the ground, very, very quick contact afterwards. Actually, I believe we're looking at the replay there.
The replay looked as if it ended up in the hands of Sunshine Coast. What I think Ashton Hay is grateful for there is the officials have deemed him to not have claim to possession. But it gets murky because the blocked punt there. I thought even though if it touches...
I believe it's behind the line of scrimmage that it's classified as not gaining possession if you block it behind, I believe.
In any case, enough for Logan City to get onto the ball here.
I believe that call might get talked about after the game.
Possibly will. No rules analyst, just a guy with a microphone. And actually, who's at quarterback now? They're just giving everyone a run at quarterback at this point. Ashton Hayes now, sack artist, block kick recovery or non-recovery artist, and now playing quarterback. So right now it's draw a ticket and you're getting a chance.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Bears roster is kind of pulling together and trying to keep the ball moving, as we said, keeping the ball moving inside. With the time though, that's not what they really need as far as play calling standpoint.
2nd down 4. A pitch out here to Butcher. Butcher with a bit of space now. He'll beat Salupe Fafita, but Fafita eventually makes the tackle, but not before they move the chains.
Yeah. Getting the edge there in the end looks like just outran the edge defender to contain man there. For a pretty good game. Lead blocker again, trying to get someone. But yeah, just speed there, just a speed situation. Almost got out of bounds to stop the clock as well, but I believe we would still be running in that situation.
Not relevant quite yet, being able to get out of bounds. 1st down and 10. Ball now on the just shy of halfway here, in fact. Oh no, sorry, into Spartans Raptors territory. Hay has played quarterback before, slings it downfield. Do you recall watching Hay play quarterback back in the junior division? Actually at Gold Coast, I think it was calling his games. So I don't know if injuries have caused this situation. I'm looking at Jarrett Powell. He's on the sideline right now. They're not coming back to him. And Patrick Mee's also there. So can't quite understand the decisions being made here.
Looks like the quarterback did take a shot on that play again, so perhaps there is an injury situation coming in.
Hey, pitches out to Butcher. Butcher cuts it back, but now he's back to the outside, losing yards. At this very well point, gets some of those yards back. But still a loss on the run there of 5 yards.
I'm not sure if we're looking at a design delay in the backfield or a bit of miscommunication there. But either way, there was a swarming Raptors Spartans defense. Once again, number 52, Jude Scott, first one to try and make a play there. A big hit coming in at the end. And a ball on the ground by the looks of it as well. Not sure who recovered. Looking like, yes, it was a Spartans Raptors recovery.
Forgive us there. Some of the far side action difficult for us to make out from where we're calling, and the shadows aren't doing us favours here on the monitor either.
Definitely not.
But it's a situation here where, this offense looks lethargic and just a bit slow right now. And I guess when you're changing quarterbacks left, right, and centre, it's kind of, you don't have that guy you can just look towards and say we're going to get moving.
Yep.
So if it's for injury, then so be it. But if your decision is to rotate your quarterbacks for the sake of rotating, I think you're probably doing more damage than good right now.
Yeah, and the quarterback really is a consistency decision. As we have coffee delivered to us.
We wouldn't be drinking coffee on air. It'd be horribly unprofessional to do that.
Of course.
But nevertheless, Kate Bennett, thank you so much. First down and 10. We've got a bit of an injury timeout going on. We might actually take an opportunity to go to an audio break here. We'll be back shortly on the backside of this injury timeout. And we're going to see if we can't just pull up that last play there, maybe after this play here. But Heath Gordon being assisted off the field. Spartans in control. They're changing quarterback. It's Kai Kerr now running the action, and it'll be a pitch to Newick Matthews. Isn't he looking good? I'm running out of superlatives to describe his contribution to the Raptors Spartans so far today in this playoff game. We're going to take a look at the play. We've actually got another Bear injured back down to the line of scrimmage, but we're going to take a quick look at the play that had Heath Gordon lifted off the field. Let's see if we can't spot what happened. This is the ball carrier here. It's number 21, Heath Gordon, who gets carried off the field. And I don't think we're going to catch it on that last replay there, but got to make it up now. We'll take a look on a different angle here so we can spot what happened. Not for this injury that's currently on screen, but for one to Heath Gordon. I'm trying to spot where he is. And there he is, a wide receiver who went downfield. Now he's looking for a block. Look, you can see him left side of your screen here. Might go out of picture and we might miss it again here. But you can just see him hit the ground and immediately clutch at that right knee there. I don't think there was anything malicious about it. He went looking for contact. And
yeah, I think it was just, as you say, just a contact injury. Might have just come off second best on a block. That'll be my guess.
In this case, that is now unfortunately old news. We've got a new Bears injury here at the close to midfield. I won't be able to make out which player was down there as well. Let's see if any of my sideline ninjas are floating about.
Yeah, I think that might have been the commentator's curse a little bit there, as we were talking about earlier, having a pretty good run from all the injury, back-to-back injuries now, causing stoppages.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so it's a significant injury. It's Kenneth Stevens. We've spoken about him in considerable depth by now at this point of the broadcast. A key part of his defense, a key part of this team. Very much liked. Remember, he was pulled him away for an interview towards the back end of practice there when the team was doing punishments, I believe, some suicides, and instead of using the opportunity to avoid it there, he ended up running the suicides after everyone had finished there, just to make sure he did his part. So much to the cheer of his teammates there. So
just general going against, scheming against, planning against, very, very high motor, high intensity play. He really cares about what he's doing. As you say, running the suicides after, that's a really, really strong show of his character and his care for the team.
Multi-sport athletes, played in a number of sports, you know, all the traditionals. I think he played a bit of cricket, rugby league. Most recently though, played baseball.
Interesting.
And I asked him out, you know, oh geez, okay, that's not something that usually people, unless you're playing something like quarterback, contributes, or receiver, if I guess catching. He was a catcher, but he recently been playing a bit of outfield, and he said that's probably helped in the transition, to be honest, because if you think about the way a linebacker moves and the way an outfielder has to move to adjust the balls, and whatnot, the ability to sort of run with your hips in one direction to your body being the other. He said that probably helped a lot in coverage, and that probably translates as to why he was an effective pass coverage guy as well. But I think the explosion though that we see from him, I think that's just all the other sports.
Yeah. Obviously, catcher is a very unique position. Obviously, the game of baseball has changed a fair bit as far as charging goes nowadays. But obviously, catchers have got to have a bit of grunt to them and a bit of aggression of all the positions on a baseball field. So he definitely seems suited to it.
Okay, so it looks like we're getting an ambulance called here. We might try to get a little more information on this injury. This is an unfortunate situation. Right now, the ambulance, I believe, has been called here for Kenneth Stevens. We might take a bit of a break ourselves. We might leave you with some live pictures, but as for audio, we'll go on a short break and try to grab a bit more information. And there you can see Kenneth Stevens getting a bit of a guard of honor from both teams here en route to the ambulance there. We had a bit of a walk down there, Connor, and we're hearing, we couldn't get an exact diagnosis, but it is some sort of significant lower leg injury we're hearing.
Yes, yeah, potentially a tib-fib fracture, broken ankle was thrown around as well, so we'll have to wait for exact confirmation, but he definitely doesn't look comfortable by any means. So best wishes out to him, of course.
We are just waiting for confirmation on how timing might be altered here. We were significantly way through the third quarter there, and whether we see a shortened fourth quarter in the process, we're yet to be confirmed. But yes, a significant injury there to Kenneth Stevens there, and he's being put into the ambulance in front of us as we speak. But right now, the task for the Logan City Bears is already difficult, trying to cover 2 scores with the time remaining. Very well could have just gotten a whole lot more difficult if the fourth quarter is to be shortened. Definitely.
Not only shortened, but also losing probably your highest impact defensive player as well in a game where you really do need to steal the ball at some point. From a morale standpoint as well, you know, losing one of your leaders, there's really 2 reactions. Everyone else either steps up or the structure does kind of fall away. So I have faith the team's going to be able to pull together. I'm sure there's several other leaders on the team that'll be able to rally the troops, you know. But again, time is not their friend right now. Time is not their friend.
Yes, indeed. 20 points to 6. That was the score when we left here, and naturally has not changed since. 14 points needed by Logan City to tie this game up before the end of regulation. Now, due to the way Gridiron Queensland works, this game needs to be completed by 12:15 p.m. local, for those who might be tuning outside of the state, and that's in order not to move into the seniors game time, which is set to kick off at 12:30 p.m. So yeah, each game is allotted a certain amount of time that it has to be completed by, otherwise we'll be looking at situations that will dictate a victory prior to the end of regulation, and in this case having a full half played, assuming the Raptans stay ahead, they would be given the victory here.
Yep. Looks like the Bears trotting out the defense again. As I said, you're looking to have someone or a group of people step up here and really stand and get a turnover.
Someone I would expect is someone like Noah Holthy, one of their Canadian superstars here. He's been a bit quiet as far as the big splash plays today. He might be someone they need to step in and fill that presence left by Stevens.
Immediately the ball goes up the middle to the exact spot where you would have seen the injured player, Kenneth Stevens. Also,
now
we have another injury timeout here.
That's Jonathan Hyden, who was told to be one of the players filling it at running back. Didn't do a whole lot in the first half. They're going to use him now towards the back end. And this opportunity, as I said, interviewing a lot of the Bears players this week. A lot of people, offensive and defensively, said if they were looking out for a player, it would be number 9 there. So definitely a lot of respect shown his way, even if he hasn't had the eye-catching game that maybe we've been accustomed to seeing.
yeah, speaking to the Spartans Raptors as well, this is actually Newick Matthews' first game at running back.
And, well, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. A ball's been raised above our head. We didn't get a confirmation of how they're handling time. I think that was just naturally the end of the third. I don't think that was to do with anything injury related. I think that just found its natural conclusion. End of 3 here. Once again, the situation unchanged despite the long ambulance break. The Raptors lead the Bears 20 points to 6 here with the fourth quarter ahead of us. Still waiting on confirmation regarding on whether this is going to be a full regulation fourth quarter.
I think they're going to struggle with time for a fully regular timed quarter, as they've got just under half an hour now to finish the fourth quarter of football. Again, with the ball being on the ground a lot, if it is in the possession of the Spartans Raptors, obviously it's going to play into favour of a full game getting finished, but I imagine there'll be precautions put in place to ensure that as well.
You got to say, with the Raptors here, obviously love a miracle. Love it an underdog story as much as anyone else, but if they can get a score here on this drive, you'd think that likely puts the game out of reach.
Yeah, definitely.
3 scores might be a bit too much to cover in 1 quarter of football. Kerr at quarterback. Newick Matthews continues his good day on the ground.
Look to be getting that edge there. It looks like well-sealed edge. Lowry Clifford losing contain at the top of the screen there. Former Stingray, former one of my players actually. Ball getting outside there. Good solid gain.
Former Stingray, former Bruin though. Former Stingray, original Bruin, I should say. Making a return back to Logan. I said, how was that? And she said, in a very, what's the word for it? Diplomatic way. Said it was weird,
Yes.
Obviously, has found a home in Logan. At Gold Coast for the last few years now, and was there joined as a girl, now a young woman, dispensated down to juniors as an 18-year-old, soon to be 18-year-old, I believe. Actually, doesn't need to be dispensated because she hasn't turned 18 yet. But yeah, I think 2 months. She celebrates her 18th birthday, and this is another
touchdown.
Newick Matthews touchdown. And you think with that, the Spartan Raptors might have just punched their ticket to a Sunball date with a man sitting next to me and his unit back at the Gold Coast.
Yeah, again, looking at from the tighter split from the slot receiver there, getting that block down on the edge defender, stopping the free defender coming through in the backfield. Again, the run bounced outside, filling that area. Spartans Raptors have executed very, very well. Very, very well today on the ground. Props to them. Full credit to them.
That's his 3rd touchdown. And here we are trying to add another 2-point conversion to make
Bears
this
sending the
28.
house.
And stretching out desperately was Highton. It wasn't enough though, and the score will remain 20 points difference here, 26-6 here at the top of the fourth quarter. Take a look at that touchdown again.
Yeah, the block from the top of the screen there, just bouncing that run outside. Good push from the interior, and again, just pushing through that first contact into the end zone. Been invaluable today, just that hard running style.
I've got to say to you now, we're likely looking at your December 11th opponents, and he's obviously putting on display here Newick Matthews, but if they can get Giovanni Stowers-Elamani back as well in that time, who's still trying to race the clock with a shoulder injury. Imagine though, if he had him in the backfield, having both of those threats, that could be troublesome, even for a vaunted defense like yours.
Yeah, definitely a two-headed thunder and lightning monster attack potentially we're looking at. Giovanni gave my defense some troubles throughout the year. Again, getting to that outside, burning the defense more so rather than the hard running style that we're seeing today from Newick Matthews. So they've definitely got a thunder and lightning combination potentially on the cards. Definitely going to need significant prep.
Something that's also probably worth noting here is this kickoff. As the wind starts to pick up, they had to get a holder on that one. This one goes out of bounds. We'll see how Logan wants to approach this. But yeah, they were actually been without left tackle, the Spartan Raptors, without their usual starting left tackle Bailey Windsor, who's been trying to recover from the flu the last couple of days. So they actually had, I believe, Salupe Fafita filling in at left tackle, and I'd like to think he's probably done a pretty decent job today.
Yeah, definitely. Just the whole offensive front for the Raptors Spartans have done really, really well today, both on the ground and in the pass. Yes, they're having a couple of QB hits here and there.
Just on the screen, just saw on the screen, their number 85, Zachary Perrin, almost had a big catch earlier today. He was actually training with the intentions to be playing for any Ravens junior programs earlier this year, naturally with brother Josh playing for the seniors. Didn't come to fruition, so that's why he found himself at Logan. For those who obviously this game wasn't streamed, but he had that huge would-be, I think it was a 40-yard catch that would have won them the game over the Rhinos. And the Rhinos' first victory of the season, but a legal man downfield, unfortunately for that young man, had beaten double coverage and gotten downfield. Coach killer. And that would have been his lone touchdown for the season so far. But he's grown to love the game, and he said whilst he's enjoyed his time as Logan, if the Ravens can produce a team, their home at Carina is apparently 5 minutes down the road from him, so he's looking forward to a return back to Carina if the Ravens can put together a junior team next year, which obviously, from a Gridiron Queensland standpoint, very much hoping so.
Yep, definitely. Chip kick.
Kick hits the second line, recovering it now is that man in question, and Perrin beats one defender and returns this just shy of his own 40-yard line. But yes, for the first time since the Ravens' existence, no junior team represented in the competition.
Yeah, speaking of the Ravens talent, I actually have one of my star defensive linemen, Patrick Knight, is actually also a member of the Ravens youth program, but has made the trip down the coast, and I certainly hope he stays down at the coast afterwards, only being a young 13-year-old, being dispensated up to play in the juniors division is an absolute stat sheet stuffer.
And that's something that's been I only briefly talked about in our lone junior broadcast this year, the way the GQ's adjusted dispensation unit. So there's a couple of dispensation days at the start of the season where they dictate whether a player is capable of playing upper division, or perhaps an older player might be better suited playing down, depending on their current skill set and where the league stands. I think it's actually a pretty appropriate way to handle things.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving forward. Hay at quarterback still, so the game started with Patrick Mee, then progressed to the 15 there in Jarrett Powell, before Jordan Sligo took a swing at quarterback, and now they find themselves with Hay, who looks to be holding his back as he heads to the sideline. He seems okay though, so they won't be going to their fifth quarterback in 4 quarters.
A couple teams in the league, I know, speaking on the Rhinos juniors, I believe they ended up with their fifth quarterback their fifth quarterback that suited up, played the last game against us.
Rhinos seniors operating on their 7th quarterback, I believe, last week, with Cheyenne James stepping in. Second down now, pitch out here to Terrell Butcher. Had a really strong opening half, but the Spartans Raptors defense has been a very formidable one today. Outside of that drive where the Bears drove and scored through Butcher, they've been pretty much a brick wall.
Most definitely, yeah. Just from a fundamental standpoint, speaking with the coaches during the injury break, Jared Gerhardy, very, very happy as the head coach and taking care of the defense, very happy with the execution of the basics, keeping contained, filling gaps by linebackers, just the little things, and the little things really do add up to a performance like this.
They're down and long. Hay playing his final snaps in junior football now. Delivers a pass over the middle to Perrin, and Perrin gets his 4th catch of the year.
Did very well to hold on to that one as well. Pretty good shot delivered at the end of the play there, but did very, very well to keep the ball close to his chest and go to ground, completing the pass. And again, as we talked about earlier, the Bears really trying to look across the middle in front of the safety. Another prime example there of just attacking the middle of the field in that kind of intermediate passing game, trying to keep the throws as easy as possible for the quarterback, whoever the quarterback is in at that point.
At this point, Hay with Corville and Butcher in the backfield. And they pitch it to Corville. Corville finds a way through the initial line of defense and then trucks his way forward for what appears to be a first down, and they really wish they could have got a bit more out of that a bit earlier in the game.
Oh, definitely. And then speaking of the fundamentals from the Raptors Spartans defense here. You know, we've got linebackers potentially not filling their gap as such and playing a little bit greedy potentially and giving that cutback lane, you know, peeking backside or peeking front side when they shouldn't be, looking like it more so. I believe Jude Scott there might have just gotten a little bit greedy, scraping over the top rather than filling downhill. But again, it's just little things this late in the game, obviously, not having the biggest impact.
Indeed.
It's great to see the fight, though.
Certainly. Well, you know, a lot of these guys playing junior football for the last time for this club. So, and this is Noah Holthy, was a starter running back last year for the Logan City Bears. Thought with the depth of running back now, he felt he could contribute elsewhere on the field, and that's why I moved to defense.
Yep.
Right now, maybe looking to try and spell some of these guys. Didn't find a lot of space there and got taken down hard.
Right after I call out Jude Scott there, he makes a great play shooting his gap in the run feeling very, very well, being the first man to make contact. Big loss there. Looks like another injury timeout though. And as we've discussed as well, Kenny, you know, just from a fundamental standpoint, it really doesn't have to be complicated at this age. You know, we're really just, from a coaching standpoint myself, just teaching kids the fundamentals of football and teaching them to execute the basics well and being able to, as you said earlier, add the salt and pepper, I quite like that phrase, to the game later on, you know, with a bit of reverse emotion here, you know, a bit of fancy stuff. But at the core, a fundamentally sound game plan, fundamentally sound execution is what really wins games at this level of football. So, again, full credit to the Spartans Raptors unit for really, really performing, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, here they come, back from that timeout. 26-6 the score is here in the last few minutes of this 2021 Gridiron Queensland Junior Division playoff. The Raptans, well, at the start of the fourth quarter, had one hand on a sunball berth. That second hand is all but on the other side of it. Third down and long. Hay throwing hard to his left, trying to connect there with Finlay Sligo, incomplete.
Looks like a bit of interior pressure there, potentially. Not letting him step into his throw and really deliver the ball where he had to, just floating it up.
Fourth down now, trying to keep this drive along, trying to finish the season on offense.
It's always what you always want to finish the year with a good play, with a score, you know.
Yeah, usually. I was talking about it with the USQ Mustangs last week here, with their season coming to a close. They got awfully close to scoring, finishing their season with a touchdown. Wasn't to be. Fourth down, double sticks. Solid protection. He throws left. He
Great
does
completion.
have Finn Tamati Sligo. Is it enough for a first down?
I don't believe so.
Don't think he is. I think he was half a yard short. Nice catch for the young man, however, to likely finish his receiving year.
Yeah, I think great ball skills here. If we can see the wide shot there, it looks like the defender got a bit greedy and tried to jump the route and actually potentially be on for a pick six there. Great ball skills to concentrate in spite of the defender being there. Yeah, just over the top there.
Ball.
But yes, again, potentially could have stayed outside a little bit more and dove for the first down, but decided to cut inside to where the defenders were rather.
Not a whole lot of time left in this one would think. The Spartan Raptors will just try to put together a big, long, time-consuming drive, but maybe not if this young man has something to say about it. Look at him go, but open field. He'll try to outrace Logan City to the end zone, but they will catch him at their own 25.
Great cutback there, getting out to the edge. Not necessarily sure it's what the coaches wanted, but at the same time, you're not going to argue with more big yards, just being able to cut back across the field, the defenders over pursuing, not keeping their inside angles. Again, just giving the opportunity. It looks like the Turf Monster might have actually had a play there.
Maybe. The Sports Centre grabbing a shoelace or two. I will say, I'll say this one for you. I know you're supposed to be the analyst here, but I will say against maybe the number one seeded team next week, you might want to look at tucking that ball a little closer to his chest.
Yeah, I think there are. I'll refuse to comment on that one, Kenny.
Did say I'd say it for you. And this one is a give out here to Jonathan Hyton.
I think that was a very, very good play there by number 11, Callum Urquhart, playing defensive line and linebacker, I believe, lining up at nose tackle on that play, getting some good interior penetration, being able to keep a good grip of the ball carrier in the backfield as well, finishing the play.
He's done the full change. He started his time at safety and has just moved into the box as a box linebacker, and now he's made the full conversion of defensive tackle. But I'm not sure. I think Callum Urquhart also might be one of those players who could be aging out after this season. I know he's been around for at least a season or two. There'll be a number of these guys making the jump, including Laura Lee Clifford, who should hopefully be returning to a women's division in season 2022. Sack here from Logan City. Getting in the backfield there, Hitchens.
Great play. They're not sure what edge he played. It looks like he might have played from the bottom side of this. Oh, actually playing linebacker on that snap on a blitz, shooting the bottom side B gap by the looks of it on the screen, making a good play there. Again, this Logan City team's got fight. They are pushing to end the season on their terms, despite the scoreboard adversity. Still pushing to make sure that they leave everything they've got on the field.
Second now, and it looks to be 17. And we've seen both the men's Rhinos teams and the men's Sunshine Coast Moreton Bay teams warming up on the far field. We'll see that once we return to the wide shot. I had a chat. They've been filtering in and saying their quick hellos on the commentary box here. Both Coach Sam Harkness. I didn't get to see. I haven't seen Vinny Tooby actually, despite being in Deception Bay twice now. I haven't had a chance to run into Vinny, although we've been exchanging messages throughout the week. And so I'll chat to Coach Brendan as well.
I did have a quick chat to Brendan Phillips, affectionately known as Twitch. Did have a quick chat to him just before when I saw him, my old state coach.
Indeed. Third down and long.
It's like a blitz coming from the bottom of the screen.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised for a house call. Maybe this to Newitt again. How is he finding all this space? All I'm seeing is a sea of black and a man in a grey and orange jersey just surging his way through.
I think that's what it comes down to, just quite good ball carrier vision, but also just commitment to hitting the gap, you know, as much as, again, we see the arm tackles, and he's just powering through it. Really just need to chop low and get some shoulders on some hips, shoulders on some knees potentially, and just get the ball carrier on the ground any way possible.
He's not powering it traditionally as you think about it, and we've talked about how he's not the thickest of running backs, but it's actually going to work into his favour. He's just sort of slipping through the smallest of gaps right now.
Definitely, yeah. And I think, as you say, it really comes down to him not being the traditional running back body type as such, being that smaller, more agile, smaller, stockier body that you'd expect from a more powerful runner, which he clearly is working in his favour. Again, people are tackling high on the Bears defence right now, which I imagine is a stamina thing. Obviously, we're getting late in the game, and it is just hit midday, so it is baking out there.
Yeah, Kazuya Newick Matthews, I didn't get a chance to watch him play last time in week 6 when we covered him because he was at the Cupic Rugby League Pacifica Islander Carnival, but you can definitely see those skills translated across here today.
Definitely. As I said earlier, this is actually his first game at running back for the year. First carries.
He's made a pretty good hand of it. Third and forever.
Too high for the Bears defense.
Will pass, but will wisely understand and cut his losses. You have a couple of receivers downfield with their arms wondering why they didn't get the ball, and I'm like, okay, look back at that play. You'll understand why.
Yeah, there's that classic, I'm a receiver and I'm open, I should get the ball. Not always the understanding of what's going on in the backfield and what stopped the ball being delivered in the first place.
You're really a receiver if you don't ask, if you're not always open.
Exactly. I can't say about any phone calls at 2 a.m. From any receivers saying I'm open. If anyone's familiar with that story from, I believe, Chad Ochocinco.
Nay Johnson, Nay Ochocinco, Nay Johnson.
Yeah.
Fourth down, and I think Cinnamon will be back to punt.
Bit of a shank.
Out of bounds. And we'll be caught by one of the sideline staff here on the Sunshine Coast Moreton Bay sideline.
Yes, I'll use the dreaded golf S word on that one and say that was a bit of a shank.
Bit of a slice. Well, actually, it'd be a hook if he's right.
Yeah, I was going to say it's quite a bad hook on that one, I believe.
However, third down now, and looking ahead now, not to assume this game's over, but December 11th at East Rugby Union, Norman Park, I believe. Home of Sunbowl, I want to guess, 20.
If I'm going back, 2015, whatever Sunbowl that would have been, it escapes me, but 2015, I remember playing my first Sunbowl on the
No, it's East Rugby Union.
East Rugby Union? Oh, not Rugby League, apologies.
East Rugby Union, where, however, we have played a Sunbowl there before, and I said it was 2008, I believe. I'm trying to recall.
A bit before my time.
Trying to recall which senior Sunbowl I had, but I know it was the Brisbane Rhinos taking on the Gold Coast Stingrays at Union. Actually, in that Sunbowl, I had Melbourne Rebels prop forward, and now I think he's playing in France now, Paul Allo-Emile, playing for the Brisbane Rhinos in that game.
Blitz spot on the screen.
Goes man in jersey number 18, and Butcher again trying to find space, but credit to this Spartans Raptors linebacking core. They've been relentless and aren't giving up easy yards even this late in the game with the lead that they have.
Definitely, I think we just look again fundamental wise, just contain was held very, very well there. The linebackers filling inside, scraping across, being able to get the gang tackle in.
Jude Scott, and also making a tackle there, the 28 in Stuart Ella.
Listed here as a defensive tackle, looks like he's been flexed outside, playing some end for the day.
Well, actually no, Stuart Ella, cornerback. He's actually usually a free safety. Well,
We've got some varying team lists here.
What do you call it? I'll blame Excel for that one. Second down and 11. Back foot
Tossed it up.
throw, and Pima Mode will grab another pick. Will he turn it into 6? It looks like the tackle will be made there by Corville.
Looks like I actually heard it more than I saw it. A big block downfield. I'm not sure who by. I'm guessing that it might actually have been Stuart Ella after the pick. I thought calling a injury timeout, but they've whistled it away. May be able to see it on the wide shot here. Big block in front there as well.
In the case, first down, Spartan Raptors.
I think we're looking at Jaden Neat being helped off potentially to the top of the screen there. I believe he was the one that took the quite heavy hit from the block downfield.
Really put the mocker on it. They were talking about how it would have been a pretty injury-free game in that first half.
Yep.
Next minute, an ambulance been called, and we had a couple of injury stoppages. Going in motion there was Eden Neal. He'll be the recipient of that ball as well. A nice move inside will keep this clock running. Some good footwork there. He's someone I can really, I think he's a young fella on this team. I can see him really becoming a focal part of this offense in years to come.
Definitely a really, really good drum cut there. And again, I'll go to the credit of John Huber here with his offensive scheming, seeing a lot, if not all, man coverage from this game, calling the motion shoot, getting the ball out to his receiver in space.
Eden Neal, I covered this in week 6 a bit, but he's been looking for a position to call home all season long. Across here, I can really see him being part of this new age position, the importance of the slot, and how they use in the running game, how they use to stretch the team east-west, how they use the then to be schemed to go down deep. I can really see that's the sort of future for him. Of course, kids, you never know how they grow up. By all means, he could come back 6'2" next year and 220 pounds. So, but as it stands right now, I can see him being that real sort of what Kai Pima mode for him. And if his speed continues to develop, he could be a real downfield guy as well.
Yeah, I've got a couple of guys on my roster that I would consider more, I guess you could say, big slot H-back role. Prime example, although he is a lot bigger, Ned Connor, number 89, my tight end. I use him in a variety of ways, flexing him out to the slot, to the 2 to 3 in a trips formation, whether he is in the box, whether I put him in motion. You know, he is that bigger body. As much as his hands can be a little bit dubious sometimes, I'll call him out here and say he's dropped a couple absolute sitters of touchdowns. But in saying that, he is a smart football player, and again, that's what it comes down to, game understanding as well. With if you are moving around a lot in motion, playing a variety of positions, you have to understand the whole field, not only from a skill standpoint, but also a tackle box standpoint to understand where you really need to help in the run game as well, which we've seen quite a lot from the Raptors Spartans today, from flexing these slot receivers to an inside alignment helping in the run game.
Well, we should be. I think we might have just been seeing the 2-minute warning there because we got 2:55 and I got that message a minute ago.
I believe that was a timeout. I believe it was an charge timeout to the Raptors Spartans.
Can't be far away here from the 2-minute warning. But in any case, this game has to be over by 12:15, which we're 5 minutes away from. As continuing to cause trouble deep into this game. Ball's out here for Logan. Ball's been lost here. Logan City might be finishing, I should say, this game with ball in hand.
There is a flag down for a hold, I believe, was thrown and actually hit number 21 of the Raptors Spartans during the play. I'm not entirely sure what it was for, but as you spoke about, the loose carry, it's been put on display already. Again, I'll refuse to comment on that one. Looks like the defense is coming out. We have a turnover.
Just trying to see who might have recovered that. Could have been Kellen Urquhart there.
Holding penalty was declined. Very a no-brain decision there. I believe this may be the last time that the Bears will touch the ball for the season.
One would think, but we've seen crazier things before. But looking toward next week, as I said, over at East Rugby Union, 2 p.m. the Junior Sun Bowl will be. As it stands right now, it will be the Sunshine Coast Spartans / Moreton Bay Raptors. That combined team taking on the undefeated Gold Coast Stingrays for how many years in a row, sorry, Connor?
If we are classifying this as the Colts division, we are going for 7 in a row.
7 and unheralded 7 in a row, and unprecedented 7 in a row.
Yeah, going back to the 7 years, I have been a part of the program as much as I was on the Stingrays white team and did not win one of the Sun Bowls. Being part of the program, seeing some great talent come through over the years.
As I said, hey, with some of his final touches of his illustrious junior Bears career.
Former league MVP, I believe, as well. I believe former league MVP. Really a great talent. Again, this year is going to see a lot of turnover. At least I can speak on my behalf for the core that I've had, especially offensive core I've had for the last 3 or so years. A lot of turnover this year, a lot of guys aging up to the seniors division, several guys wanting to pursue some potential overseas football careers as well. The league will be changing a lot next year from a personnel standpoint.
And Jordan Sligo as well will be making the move over. He's playing his final snaps. I guess as he gives to Butcher. Butcher just barely gets it out of his own goal line.
Again, looking at that, we've got linebackers shooting downhill, expecting run, good contain, forcing the ball carrier back inside. Not a whole lot of room there for the ball carrier. Did very well actually to spin out of the initial tackle and save the safety there. We could have been looking at a slightly bigger point difference.
Just looking at some of these guys, I'm trying to find out any of them that have notes of their final games being played here for juniors here for Logan City, obviously with SCSMB playing next week. A number of these guys wrapping up their junior careers here for Logan City. Hey, with a throw, completes it downfield.
There is life.
There too, we're going from one of the most senior players on this team to one of the most junior players there in Finlay Tamati Sligo, dispensated up from the youth division, playing up as a 13-year-old.
Yeah, it's really great to see some young talent coming through in the league as well. As I said, there will be a lot of roster turnover, I imagine, for several teams next year in the division, but seeing the youth talent as well. It's still in the youth division as such, some of the 13-year-olds and some of the 13-year-olds that have moved up, wanting the more competitive 11-man football environment that GQ has been able to offer this year, which is just fantastic. It's really, really great to see.
Sligo said he was a big part of him wanting to play, as he wanted to firstly have a chance to play with his brother, and he wanted to really live up to the name there. It's kind of poetic as we're seeing one move out, we're seeing another move in, so good to see the name stay in this Logan team. Here goes Perrin. Perrin now with his second catch. I joked with him. He said that last would-be touchdown catch, which I think was his third and only catch in there. And I'm like, well, I look forward to calling catches, 4, 5, and maybe even 6 here, and we're one catch away from that happening now.
Yeah. Looks like a bit of a potential tunnel screen design. Looks like just turned outside a little bit late, maybe came a bit too narrow downfield, almost taking a big shot there with the ball, but did well to keep his balance and turn away from the heavy contact.
In the embers of this game now. Second down. Hey again, trying to hit Jordan and give him one more last catch in this junior division.
Good coverage there in the flats by the outside defender. It looks like the Raptors are switching more to a bit of a too high defensive look, expecting to pass now, kind of pass committing as such.
Well, I'm assuming this game that the referees and officials might try to let this game just find its natural end, but we are officially at 12:15 when this game needed to be over, so maybe just out of respect to some of these guys playing their last game, they're letting this game run its course.
I think it's really, really good to see as well in that aspect, letting these guys play out their last few snaps properly.
Hey, downfield looking for Sligo, and he couldn't bring it in.
Again, seeing some pretty heavy pressure from the Raptor Spartans. As much as it'd be lovely to see the Bears finish with a bit of a fairy tale, this Raptor Spartans defense is wanting to be a bit of a nightmare still right now.
They've certainly earned their ticket here. The Raptors, defensively, they've been very, very sound all game long. And offensively, they've proven that they've got one of the most explosive offenses in the league. Obviously, with their biggest competition being waiting for them there in a week's time. Hey, jump pass, finds Holthy. But however, it was 4th down. Oh, this is going to depend on where they mark it. It is right on the line to gain.
I think we may be looking to turn over on downs here.
It is 1st down, Raptors, Bears, and I will be surprised to see anything other than a knee here to see out this game.
I think if he just put his head down there, he definitely had the 1st down. Potentially just lack of a better way, putting a bit of a lack of awareness of the game situation there, down and distance-wise. If he just put his head down, that was definitely a 1st down, but not that it necessarily has an impact on the result as such. Just a bit more game time for some of these senior players. Start seeing some hugs and stuff from the Raptor Spartans sideline. Some congratulations going around as they fought very, very hard today to again earn that win. As we see the first knee.
There it is. I think they might be ready just to call this game here. I think we've got a couple of senior teams ready to jump on. I think claps have begun, celebrations have started. The ball is all but raised in the air above Brian Balsamo's head.
Looks like they just went after.
And there it is, full time. The Moreton Bay Sunshine Coast Raptors have qualified for the 2021 Junior Sun Bowl, and for the Moreton Bay Raptors contingent of this side, it will be their first time being represented on Sun Bowl Saturday. Congratulations to head coach Jason Garrity and this side, and commiserations, of course, to John Hellaby's Logan City Bears and all the outgoing players on that unit. Sun Bowl berth last year, a playoff berth here in 2021. Their season now comes to a close. But for the Sunshine Coast Moreton Bay Spartan Raptors, they will be meeting Mike Kurt Caller here today, December 11th, 2 p.m. at East Rugby Union, for it to be a chance to be crowned 2021 Junior Sun Bowl champions. Connor, absolute pleasure having you. Thank you for making the trip up.
It was an absolute pleasure, Kenny. Absolute pleasure.
And well, I'll say good luck for next week. May both teams have a good couple of days of practice. We're going to leave shortly now. We've got a short turnaround here to the men's game, set to kick off in less than 15 minutes. We'll leave it there with some outgoing pictures of the two teams shaking hands. Thank you for joining us. We hope you stick with us here. Men's playoff game coming up next. Joining me will be Adam Bolton, as we'll be seeing the number 2 ranked Brisbane Rhinos taking on the home side, the men's Sunshine Coast and Moreton Bay Spartan Raptors, for a chance to meet the Bayside Ravens also on December 11th.